All right, so Halfling, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, so I had to test the volume here. We're good to go. You guys probably heard in the background. So I can actually be heard. Halfling can actually be heard. So we're good to go as we are getting into FF15 versus NRO. First and foremost, Halfling, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I was a little curious. So we weren't trying to do like the full intro song there, were we?
Did the song actually play? Because there was no volume for me that time,
Okay,
so I was
then
kind of
then it didn't
confused.
it didn't play on the stream. So that means all things are working. Maybe. We'll find out later, of course. But we've got a pretty interesting series here. I can't remember the playoff implications exactly. Let me go check that real quick. But these two teams have been very fun to watch. I've been watching, spectating a couple of their games in my free time, and they've been very fun to watch personally. So though I don't know quite yet if those rosters are fully up to date. Let me go check them real quick because
Yes, I
things have been
wasn't given
changing
the.
around.
Yeah, I believe the ADC is not subbed out for FF15 this time around for today. I wasn't given a full listing before they had started up, but I believe both these squads are not subbing anything today.
So to update right now, so NRO, Night Raid Owls, is currently running Mines in the top lane, Kid Buu in jungle. And first swap is Excellence is actually playing mid lane here, and Stuff is currently off the roster as uh, has been put into ADC there, moving Excellence into the mid lane, and Dainty Taco is still there covered. Of course, FFSF15 has running Smoothie, the Salt, Bentage, and then Covert Panda instead of Fox there in the 80 carry role in KB Jelly. So no shenanigans, at least for the last couple weeks for these teams, but our graphics are a little out of date as we continue to try and update them here live.
But while we will be able to update those a little bit in the meantime. Both of these teams have actually already been in the draft screen, and they are currently going to the draft. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into that for you guys as the animated draft begins. Here, we do already have the first couple bands and stuff. It's unfortunately flashed before I can actually get it to you guys, but here we are. NRO is on blue side, as we do have also on the red side is going to be FF15. And I do see the first band is going to be here Senna, second band Caitlyn, third band Morgana. Some bands actually that I kind of expect, especially against FF15. The Morgana here, not a surprise as they're trying to take that away from Vintage. We do see the Vayne then banned for the second round, for the second band for the side of FF15. More Misfortune being banned by NRO, and then the final ban is looking to be Vigar here for the side of FF15. Um,
Yeah, a lot of bot side focus here, and I'm not really surprised as we have two like fairly solid bot lanes here, and Jinx being locked up by NRO. Kaz is a very huge Jinx enjoyer, and Dainty Taco plays quite a few of the champions to help uh, enhance the Jinx very well, of course. And I don't really have a whole lot though. We're waiting for the rest of these picks to go through. Other than that, though, FF15 did win the coin toss and elected towards red side on their own, and Mordekaiser being picked.
and I do like the very first response is NRO was looking to get a something secured for that bot lane, so they decide to go with the Jinx as the very first pick, and I believe that they're putting a that's putting a lot into your bot lane there, especially going with the Jinx blind as the Twitch is picked up right after the Mordekaiser for the side of FF15.
Twitch is another response. Is it one of the responses in a Jinx? He scales pretty well into her. He does have options to fight though, early, which is really strong. One of the few champions that has a good early game and a good late game. And that's kind of what you want in a Jinx. But Braum is a really good response into Twitch. As you can not necessarily block the alt autos that much, but you can stand in the way of the normal autos and eat those instead for Jinx and help a little bit with that early lane trading. One of those empowerment champions I was referencing earlier from Dainty Taco.
And I really do like the like how you said that picking up Braum here was a good and it was definitely a good answer to the Twitch. So we need to see if there's going to be anything that maybe FF15 can adapt to try to get around this Braum. I mean, they could use the Mordekaiser to basically take him out completely from fights, but I don't think the Mordekaiser ult wants to be just used strictly on a support. And we see NRL picking up, I believe, for their jungle going to be the Shyvana, as FF15 picks up the Maokai, a very big staple here in Valhalla Esports.
He's a big staple and he's actually fairly flexible. Um, The last season we saw a ton of Maokai jungle priority from a lot of the top teams here at Valhalla, and in pro play, of course. But now he kind of sits in this two-way flex between jungle and support, and I believe KB Jelly does like to play Maokai a lot, and Malphite Twitch kind of signals a lot of heavy aggression in the lane, which I do expect from them.
And right now we are getting right into the second phase of the bans as we see FF15 opts to ban out the Tryndamere first NRO, then banning out Zac in response. Nasus then banned out as the last ban for FF15, and a very nice ban to see the Xerath banned on the side of NRO, not wanting Bentage to be piloting that. A very big favorite actually for Bentage. And so FF15 here for their first pick, they finally get that mid lane pick, and it's looking like it's going to be the Lux.
Yeah, Bentage loves those artillery mages, those long range mages, and he still gets one with Lux. And personally, I think Lux is actually a lot more useful than Xerath right now. But FF15, of course, putting so much priority, they're trying to ban out the super top of Mind's Desire here on NRO. I believe that's the right one, right? He's there. I said it earlier. I know I did, but I'm not looking at the lineups right now. There we go. But Swain locked in from NRO. Technically, if we're talking about season 8's of flex, but of course it's not real at all. And that's going to be Swain mid lane and Camille top lane for Mines. So really strong lane, and an option to Mordekaiser. You could technically flex this Mordekaiser into jungle if you're really crazy. But all this is saying is Mines is really confident picking into a counter, because Mordekaiser is a typical counter, but Urgot locked in as a pro play counter into these dive champions like Camille, like Riven, like Aurelia. We don't see Aurelia very much anymore, but Urgot is a good way to stop Camille, but I feel like this is very much a challenge thrown down by Mines.
So it ends up looking like it's actually gonna. Where FF15, their team is a very interesting one. Are they flexing?
That should be Mordekaiser jungle. This can be Mordekaiser jungle, Maokai support.
Okay, okay. Just
Unless they go Urgot support for some godforsaken reason.
right, some craziness.
Cooking a little too hard there.
Next thing we know is gonna be Bentage piloting the Mordekaiser from what we're gonna end up being to see there. That's gonna be actually very interesting. I'm gonna be very surprised.
Yeah, and of course, as is tradition here, at least tradition that I started last stream, I like to talk about gambling, of course, because that's so much more interesting than trying to break down all the team comps. Adding a little bit of stakes here. And we're a little behind, right? So we should be able to get into their draft pretty soon, or at least like wading through this. Perfect,
yes,
nice.
We are right on time with them, which is awesome.
Perfect. So into the gambling. If anyone in chat sees, we do have a prediction pulled up, picking between NRO and FF15. Personally, let me quickly check our standings here before I start making any statements about standings. Oh, they did it differently now. So Night Raid Owls is currently sitting as our number one team, at least as of week 7. And they are currently against, what we got? FF15 sitting at seed 5, so just outside the top 4, which is our division clinchers. So this is a fairly heavyweight match that we have here. Not necessarily really any playoff implications. Both teams are virtually clinched. Well, Night Raid Owls is clinched playoffs, and FF15 has virtually clinched playoffs. I think they have to finish this game, win or lose, and they're in. But I'm still going to be taking NRO, not only because of team power, but because of the draft. It just makes a lot more sense to me. I feel like FF15 got a little lost with some of their picks there. They cooked a little too hard. Picking the Mordekaiser so early shows a whole lot, and I do like the Camille lockup, because even though Mordekaiser is a counter into Camille, it's still playable for her. It's not the end of the world. And farming on a champion like Camille, especially in Mine's hands, is perfectly okay for top side. But definitely, if you're a FF15 here, make sure to change those HYG and Kraken Slayers graphics up there. But if you're kind of looking at like the weakness in as an FF15 fan, you're looking at this really confusing and horrible mid jungle situation by NRO here, because Shyvana Swain can do absolutely nothing early into the Mordekaiser Lux. Mordekaiser Lux just has so much more damage. They have so many more options to get pressure around the map. So if you're FF15 here, you're hoping for some early game shenanigans to go on.
Honestly, I feel like that's what's gonna be, especially with the Jinx. You don't want allowing the Jinx to be completely getting into like that hyper carry potential, especially much earlier on. I'm not entirely sure about the player Kaz. This is the first time I believe I'm going to be casting this player. But to put them on a Jinx, especially in this first game, at least I'm seeing with them, that's a lot of faith to put into your AD carry. So I'm definitely very curious to see how NRO is feeling about this, and they're probably, again, if they're feeling confident about it, they definitely picked a decent bot lane for themselves. But I do really like the Twitch Maokai type of angle, because if those two can actually kind of start running it, it's even with the Braum, it's still going to be extremely difficult to stop that Fed Twitch if that ends up happening. Like you said, you want FF15 to try to maybe get something to happen in the early game with some kind of crazy shenanigans, maybe a crazy 5-man invade or something. I don't know exactly what they're going to be looking to do, but they do have the ability to potentially 5v5 like fight and actually win it. But that's just me.
Yep. From what I know of Kaz, Kaz is a really strong laner. He's kind of a very well-rounded AD carry. He's got a lot of experience in competitive outside of Valhalla. And him and Dainty Taco have been doing pretty well as a pairing here, but the KB Jelly and let me bring it up because I can't remember their names. Covert Panda is a very kind of underrated lane that we have here. It's fairly KP Jelly favored. He likes to roam around and leave Covert kind of a little bit of on an island, but not necessarily useless, of course. So it'll be a lot of kind of playmaking from KB Jelly is what's going to make or break this FF15 comp.
Give me a few moments, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to get the predictions set up on here. For some reason, I'm just having a hard time trying to get through figure it out on Streamlabs. So we're gonna get that up and running hopefully soon enough.
We can hit pause beforehand and wait for the game to start while you do that.
Oh yeah.
We'll see you all back in a couple minutes.
Oh, hold on one second. We still I'm not too worried about right at this moment.
No?
It's no, I'm sure that everyone's perfectly fine. We'll be able to get it, and if anything, we get it into part of the game. I think it'll be okay. I don't think anyone's, if it's like, the very like first like 2-3 minutes, I think we'll be just fine. So, and we got the little spectator delay, so everyone should be able to be seeing that currently on screen as we speak. So I'm gonna go ahead. So really quickly, based upon the two, in fact, guys, go ahead and start typing in the chat what you guys are thinking while we try to get the predictions up.
I know I put about 20k onto NRO here. I took a fairly safe bet here. Kind of ruined the odds a little bit, but it looks like the predictions did wrap up. 68-32 in favor of NRO.
Oh, okay, they're already put up there. I didn't realize that. Cool.
Yeah. Don't know which one of our mods did it, but thank you guys so much for the help. Makes our lives easier. Yeah, you guys are awesome coming here watching us on either days off or while playing for some of us. But 55 seconds left on spec delay. So Malco, we haven't actually heard who you're favoring here. So who you got for the series?
I'm gonna say this: both these teams I've actually seldomly looked at and or have casted. If I'm gonna be completely fair based upon the two different teams, I kind of really like FF15's comp here. I just really want to see how they play it, because again, they are going up against I believe you said the first place team in the league currently, so that should be a very interesting notion. I just want to see like what ends up happening for them overall. 1 second here.
Even Riot's client's so buggy they get us in early, probably just to leave us at 0%.
Right,
knowing them. Gotta resize. Oh yeah, you gotta resize the window, Malco.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to do right now. For some reason, it's not allowing me to select the window. Well, we're right into the game real quick, guys. You guys will be seeing some of the stuff picked up live. So just give me 2 seconds, and then we should be good to go. But for that,
You
guys, it
can
looks
right
like,
click on it.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. Right click. What the?
Hit screen. Otherwise, you can just drag on the edge. Make sure you're not you don't have it on the side monitor, because then you'll have access to the full screen. It'll look better for you to mess with.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no,
It's always
it's on full screen. All right, guys. So we see it's going to be just a standard 5v5 setup. Thank you guys for being patient with us once again. Things are a little bit, kind of crazy when you're trying to jump between multiple different settings, all that good stuff. But as long as you guys are able to hear things, you guys are able to currently see things, it looks like that's great. So once again, congratulations, guys. We actually got into game. I was expecting it to be a complete another disaster potentially. But
the window did not resize, my friend.
no, it's not resizing for me here. Yes, thank you guys. I got it. We gonna get this taken care of. I just don't know why I'm not able to get this capture going, or at least get this to change. Why is all right? I don't know what is going on with OBS. I don't want to keep distracting you guys too much. I know this is probably distracting as hell, but we do see that both teams have started to go for the standard 5-point start. Neither team wanted to be too risky.
Nothing quite yet. No weird runes. Wait, do you run like a 4K monitor or something?
Is
that what it is?
Not actually. I run
Like
completely 1080p.
1080p weird. It's all your UI is also funky.
Yeah.
If we're gonna run with a weird window. Oh, here he is.
Yep.
Hey Malco.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, right click on the one and hit transform and then fit the screen. You can also go ahead and pull up and just pause the game real quick for everybody. That's also an option.
There we go.
There are a couple things we gotta mess with.
Yeah. Just give us a few seconds, guys, here.
Oh, I know that. It's like OU and then hit chat. Make sure chat's off.
Chat's off. Objective timers. Is that actually going to work for me? Probably not. It never does. All right. And then time controls.
Time.
All right.
Dang.
All right, looks like your guys are good to go.
All right. So, all right. Good to go, guys. Time controls down. Let's see if the objective timers decides that it wants to go ahead and jump up for us. But I can't have complete faith in that, I hate to say.
Is it because of your map size?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
We'll think about that later.
Yeah, we can worry about that later. If you guys can go ahead and if you can see the full game, that's what matters to me.
I know why. Well.
And then I appreciate you, Blitz, for jumping in here. Just I don't know why I could not figure that out for the life of me. I was like, what the hell's going on? But I was actually clicking on the absolute wrong thing to try to transform. So that was my bad. Kept trying to click the wrong game capture. So now here we do see a little bit of trading going on between the two mid laners. They're looking to fight as they both hit level 3. Excellence there against the Bentage, trying to go ahead and put a little damage down. I'm guessing both of them want to try to establish a little bit of dominance, because in reality, if one of these mid laners can start roaming a little bit, it'll definitely make a difference for both these teams. They both need to make something happen early if they're going to have any hope of potentially making a difference for themselves in this game. Oh, and we do see Dainty getting caught out by 2 different members. As we see, he's trying to escape, having to flash out, and it's going to be him being able to get away, but at the cost of his flash. And Covert Panda, KB Jelly able to immediately push out the bot lane of NRO.
Yeah, a little bit of a greedy back here from Dainty Taco, just spending a little bit of time, but Excellent's going to land the root.
No, and then we do have Kid Boo here going right in onto Benton. Benches does still have his flash on. He should be able to try to get away, but it might not be enough. First blood going to be going over to Excellence.
It's just so greedy with the flash there. You got to let it rip so much sooner. But great catch there by NRO, by Kid Boo, able to find the kill there. But in bot lane, a lot of supports will kind of stay a little extra for your support, and then back to close there. KB Jelly taking perfect advantage of that on Dainty Taco, forcing the flash, not getting the kill, but forcing the flash on bot lane. Super important, as that kind of removes any little option that the Jinx and Braum have of trying to kill. Top lane, though, going very interestingly here, as Mines is able to get a little bit of a freeze turn and just slow push and crash into Urgot, but the salt catching Dainty again.
The Salt just here at the right time, finding Dainty, trying to put some vision down. What's very interesting though, and I just realized, is that Kaz is actually running the Ghost instead of any type of Summoner heal. So this bot lane is definitely going to be a lot less. They don't have at least that that major defensive Summoner spell that might be able to save them in a pinch. So this might be potentially this could be potentially dangerous for Jinx if they get caught out, but we do have a little fight going on right here as Kid Buu does find themselves against the red side. KB Jelly getting caught out, gonna have to run away as the Salt is here to try to help save his support. Now they're trying to back off, but KB Jelly gonna be taken out by a sapling over the wall. Not by a sapling, by I believe it's the Ignite from the Braum, and then the Salt now gonna be able to take a kill onto the Braum, getting revenge as Benches is now down here trying to take a little bit more onto Kid Buu. Excellence did follow too. Covert Panda gonna have to flash out, trying to get away. Bentage now slowed down by the zap. Able to snare down 2 members, now dropping some more damage. Covert Panda trying to get a little bit more, and they're trying to continue this fight. Fully extended, continue to go. Bentage feeling a little bit more blood now that he sees the damage being dropped. But the fight has now finally ended 3-1 overall in this game at the moment for the side of NRO.
Yeah, 2-1 on the fight there in favor of NRO as well. They're finding the Ignite kill onto the Salt, right? Or was that was the Salt getting caught out? I'm pretty sure. So, one of the members. But still a little sad that Jinx didn't pick up anything, of course. Playing a little bit of a supportive role there for her laners. Mine's trying to get the solo bolo.
Mines is now trying to get that little solo, and it ends up happening right there as Mines Desire is able to take out HYG Smoothie up in that top side, and NRO now looking pretty decent already in this game, and this is probably something they want.
Yeah, they're playing early game really well against a comp that wants to win early to mid game. So of course they're sitting nice and pretty there. It's going to be really hard as this game goes on for FF15 to really break in to these comps with a flash.
Oh no, that's unfortunate to see. Smoothie flash misses the ulti, trying to engage onto the Camille. Not going to be able to get any of that. But instead, it's going to be the red team now able to take that dragon overall, though.
Yeah, FF15 still getting the dragon there. They have the bot lane push regardless with the Twitch. And looks like the Salt also staying around in the bot lane. He's been hovering bot lane quite a bit, but it's a little disappointing for Shyvana not to get these dragons. The dragon stacking, of course, super important for the Shyvana. Other than that, though, still really well played early game by NRO. They're okay seeding these first dragons. They really want to fight, honestly, at 2 items. So all's well that ends all, in all honesty.
Yep, a little bit of a small lead being taken up here by NRO with about 1.5k gold up. So they at least are getting this early lead, almost about 10 minutes in. I really do. I just want to see a little bit more happen here now that they have the ability to really fight. We kind of saw in a 3v3 in kind of a 3v3 situation what can happen, especially if it gets fully extended. So I think that both these teams are still kind of on even footing at the moment.
Yeah, they're still pretty even. Once these 6s are coming through on the supports, I favor the Maokai a little bit more, of course. Such a big engage tool and such long range, making it really easy for FF15 to fight, but it looks like Mordekaiser's looking for a little bit of a gank top lane here. Mines might fall for the bait, but could be smelling something out as well. Regardless, the big important thing is this Shyvana 6. You want to use your first dragon form on Shyvana really well, and it could be here in mid lane, it could be in bot lane, it could just be farming until you're level 9, of course, with a catch.
The Camille not realizing Mordekaiser there, but the E able to get them right out with that hook shot. Nicely done by my Mines, able to get away, but there's going to be some damage being dropped on the KB Jelly, but the ultimate comes out, able to snare them both even through the Unbreakable, and that is just going to be it. They're able to disengage and stop that fight. KB Jelly able to keep his life. We do see going right into the ultimate coming out from Kid Buu onto the Salt, but the Salt not going to be able to do anything as he loses his life to the jungle and mid lane of the side of NRO.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about there with that first dragon form. That's pretty surprising, but they can just keep fighting.
Nicely done, and the fight continues. HYG Smoothie has nowhere to go and gets double teamed up in that top side. Kid Buu on a killing spree.
Damn you, Kid Buu, for interrupting me. But a really good form on that Shyvana there, finding it 2 kills in that 1 dragon form and 2 separate ganks. That's the effective Shyvana usage there. And if I actually remember correctly, Kid Buu is a little bit of a Shyvana enjoyer. And going Sojin here, of course, not falling for the trap that is AP Shyvana, but a flash from KB.
Ooh, goes right in, manages to land on the Kaz. The ultimate going to be coming out from the Braum. And the Salt is now here. Ghost activated by Kaz. Going to be trying to get away as we see the rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Going to go ahead and start spraying on him. Trying to get onto somebody. Wants to get something as he gets pulled back in. Dainty Taco getting slain. Sent to the gray screen as Covert Panda is able to secure that kill.
Yeah, it's just constant fighting here across the map. Both teams, FF15 trying to pick up something that they lost there in the top lane. The Salt dying originally on the Shyvana gank. Really, really good decision there. Just engaging onto the Braum anyway. Even if he's going to eat anything, there's just enough damage to kind of break through that shield and break through onto the Jinx. And the Ghost from Twitch is just so much more useful when used defensively. Same thing with Jinx. So when she's just running away, she's running away from a Twitch who could have Q. Never going to be able to get out of that range with the stealth. The stealth has so much movement speed. Still, we're kind of looks like with that timer up, we have like a minute left until Dragon. So both teams going to be prioritizing down there after these grubs, of course. It looks like they're going in favor of FF15. So 3-3 on these grubs. No Void Mites, thankfully. So no team having crazy split push, but both teams having good split push. But I do like this Dragon Prow from the Shyvana team.
I think for them, they definitely want to continue to prioritize the Shyvana or prioritize the dragons on Shyvana, especially. Doesn't she still get the stacks from getting dragons?
Yes.
Yeah.
She gets all the wait. That was a Maokai ult.
That was just
He Maokai ulted. To try and find Shyvana. Didn't even burn her ult.
You know what? If somehow they end up if FF15 ends up winning this series, I'm gonna question KB about it. How about that?
that'll be a good question there. I kind of understand he's trying to find Kid Buu, but it looks like he's getting caught himself.
The twisted advance to get away, but it's not gonna be enough. You could have given it to him, KB. The rocket would have landed as Kaz is not able to get that kill, and instead it's gonna be KB going on a rampage.
Yeah, Kid Buu there's just absolutely cleaning up everyone. The whole jungle's his. He's able to now claim this dragon to get those, start getting those Shyvana stacks, getting tankier and tankier. But Mordekaiser
though, gonna be taking her to Brazil, trying to fight, keep her away from the dragon, give them a little bit more time. Kid Buu though, trying to get away, not gonna be able to, shut down by the Mordekaiser, but the Mordekaiser getting taken down in the Jinx, getting her first kill of the game and starting to get at least a little bit ramped up. But the rest of the team is showing up, no junglers available, so anybody's dragon it is for her to take. The Twitch gonna be able to go ahead and keep shooting at it. Someone's got to take it, but red team's able to take it. But what is it gonna cost as the lives are starting to be taken by the Jinx? Going excited, trying to get a little bit more, but the HYG Smoothie appearing with the grabs, able to suppress and bring it to the gaping maws of inside that crab. Urgot gonna be able to stop the Jinx from being any more excited as they're able to take that Drake and also take the kills.
Yeah, the Salt, they're so confident they're in the 1v1. They're sending Kid Buu to the Death Realm, to Brazil, and taking the 1v1 perfectly fine. Leaving the dragon up, especially when you have a Lux, it's perfectly okay to leave those dragons up to the coin flips, because Lux has such a high burst with her ult from just complete safety. Yeah, the smooth goat, my bad, not smooth goat, not quite yet the goat there in top lane. He's got to be able to beat Mines and some of these other top laners more consistently. He's taking a little bit of help. Mines in top lane, those eating pretty good with a huge advantage there in the meantime, but
might
he's
be
caught out
a little too much for his own good as he tries to kick out Salt, able to do it. But Kid Buu is here to go ahead and help his top laner as they're able to take out HYG Smoothie with the Urgot there. Double kill as we see absolutely insane Camille up in this top side and is just about to finish this call. 3-0-1 Mind's Desire looking damn good.
Yeah, he's eating really good on this Camille. They're getting so much farm, so much turret plates. I'm pretty sure he collected every single turret plate there and the tower. So much gold in this Camille, so much money funnel. But that was a spray and pray from Twitch.
Immediately comes out. They go ahead and get a little damage on the KB Jelly, but a lot more ended up dropping right on the Dainty Taco, while Covert Panda was just literally spraying and praying right on top of him. A lot of damage dropped onto the bot side. It's very hard for them to fight, but Excellence is here trying to go ahead and maybe be able to help something out. Sapling gonna go ahead and be tossed his side, and that is the bot side of FF15 able to get away.
Yeah, I didn't notice if KB had ult there or not earlier on. I would question why he didn't burn it earlier. Looks like Kaz just was able to walk out of the fight. But Covert Panda burning no ghost for Kaz Ghost will be, excuse me, pretty important for this bot lane from FF15 to try and find more kills, because it looks like they're the really, even though Lux is doing well, they're kind of the shining spot on this team. From FF15, they have the option to carry, but Flash from KB.
TP coming in, and you're a little too far ahead. Go ahead and give that kill right over to the Jinx. She's gonna end up needing as she tries to get ahead. Kid Buu, though, going ahead and chasing down Benches. Benches not gonna be enough. As you said, he was the shining star at the moment for the side of FF15. Immediately gets caster cursed and dropped. And Covert Panda gonna have to flash as Mind's Desire was on the chase after this twitch. Oh man, right now it's looking crazy as NRO is showing why they are the #1 team. 31, about 6K gold up right now in only 15 minutes of this game played. Absolutely insane. And Mind's Desire is trying to slap him with the wallet as he goes on a rampage. The kills now being more spread out amongst the team this time, and it's looking absolutely insane.
Yeah, a little bit of a skull cracker there from Camille onto the Mordekaiser, kind of showing exactly why they wanted to move that Mordekaiser out of the lane there. He's so confident in dodging all of the Mordekaiser CC and high damage with the Camille ult. That's a lot of their interactions. Shut your mouth, we're the #1 team, HYG.
Are they?
No, actually, but they are kind of tied, sort of. You know, if you squint hard enough and tilt your head just a little bit upside down, they're somewhere up there.
So you're telling me that they could pass the squint test and at least get into the courtroom?
Yeah, they could. They do share records, at least for today. I don't quite know. We're not watching their games, so we don't quite know how their series is going, of course. But it looks like TJ has quite enough time to. Oh wait, we don't know how their series went. They won. We streamed them. I forgot about that. They played that earlier this week because of Mother's Day. Blah. Happy Mother's Day, of course. Kid Buu, though, gonna find Covert and KB.
Both the bot lane, and that's unfortunate. You don't want to be there. Able to snipe right through past KB Jelly and able to get it, but there's a big ultimate landing as the snares land onto the side of NRO. They were still able to take out Covert Panda
on the flank.
Mind's Desire able to show up, and now the bot lane is getting taken out. Anytime these dragons are about to be up, you need to assume that KB is ready to be there. They are prioritizing these, and it's been showing since the very beginning of this game. And once again, slapping them with the wallets as they're showing how far ahead they are at the moment on the side of NRO.
Yeah, I like the idea of them trying to contest for this third one. They want a dragon stack to get their way back into this game. Chemtech isn't the end of the world. Giving Shyvana her first stack isn't really the end of the world. First stack of armor and Atmar. But at the same time, what are you doing there, man? You're so far ahead of your team, and you can see how willing NRO this whole game has been to pull the trigger. Kid Buu, though, might get caught up by the salt.
Oh, yup, and we do have Covert Panda coming around, takes out the blast cone, so they have to either force to use their ult to get away, and it ends up working. Kid Buu able to escape as they were invading into the jungle of the side of FF15.
Yeah, a little bit of a, not necessarily overstay, really kind of great presence on the champion from Kid Buu. Kid Buu understands perfectly on his limits and what he's supposed to do and where he's supposed to be. And using that ultimate to get out there, as long as he's able to start charging it before any real other objective comes up in time. But it looks like we'll have just enough time. Shyvana will have just enough time to really charge her ult before anything else happens. But it looks like FF15 is trying to find this Camille. In the meantime, bot lane.
Excellence going immediately in right onto Bentage. Ult ended up being used, flashing in to keep the ult going, trying to do as much damage to Bentage as possible, thinking that they were going to go that way, but flashes away as we see the up top. Covert Panda caught out as they get caught with all the Braum stacks. Now Smoothie this time too. Mind's Desire coming in from behind. Brazil was used to be taking out on Kid Buu. Kid Buu going to end up losing their life as well in this fight, but NRO, they don't care if they lose one member as long as the other 4 is still standing, and they managed to make it happen as it's a 5-for-1 in the favor of NRO.
Yeah, again, it's KB's holding his ult. I mean, and Covert died with ult as well, so I don't know if he was caught out earlier on that fight while we were watching the bot lane play from Excellence. Looks like Excellence was able to take the win in the 1v1, so I wish we were able to very cleanly watch the replay, but of course that would require us to then open everything up, blah blah blah, all the boring stuff. So we can maybe watch and see if Excellence will post it in the big plays from official games chat here in the Discord server. It'd be very very nice. Yeah, they'd be. Yeah, I just like forgot that I cast it on Wednesday. You know, it happens sometimes. Oh, my music paused.
Yeah, and it's looking like, and I don't care that NRO did that too. Well, hold
Oh,
on.
but they're
Mine's
finding
Desire
mines.
just wants to find anybody and everybody, but Smoothie getting a little revenge and a big chunk of gold into his pocket after being able to just draw him into the maw of the crab and dragging him under the sea. So now we do see that it's going to be Smoothie taking that big kill, and that's actually something you want because Urgot can become a bit of a raid boss if you get enough gold onto him.
Yeah, you can get enough gold onto him, but he's like he's pretty much a whole ass item behind this Camille right now. It's looking a little grim here from Urgot on the side lane. For now, at least he's sitting on one game in the inventory, so he'll be able to pick up another item and start maybe putting in some work. There was the Herald that I kind of forgot about. It just got randomly dropped here in bot lane, probably forgotten about as well. But Baron up here, both teams turning their attention towards your vision control on.
We got
They're just TPing here. Okay, my bad.
All right, Mine's Desire just wants to go ahead and 1v2 because he believes he can, and he does. But then he
KB trading
abandons
places.
Kid Buu entirely, getting caught in the middle of 4 members. That is some miscommunication there from your team. But Kid Buu, in the middle of the entire fight, still able to take out one as they take out the Twitch. But Excellence and Mine's Desire turn around and try to help their teammate, even though it's from the gray screen that the Kid Buu's gonna be watching this from. Excellence taken into Brazil. There's 2 different members around, but he's able to take out the Mordekaiser, but gets immediately drawn in by Smoothie. Now Dainty Taco here trying to track on where Smoothie is, as 3 different members on the side of NRO are still very much alive and healthy and able to go ahead and fight this. Mine's Desire up in that top side. Jinx getting a lot of damage onto this Smoothie. Oh man, I wasn't expecting that. Mine's Desire comes in with the big damage and just takes him out. NRO pushing in 22 minutes into this game, sitting at 12k up. This is looking like a steep grave to try to climb out of in this game 1 for the side of FF15.
Yeah, I don't even prom pick just too strong. I don't even know if there's like a real chance for FF15 here, because that was your ideal like situation of one of the enemy teammates took their hands off the keyboard, and Kibu was still able to get a kill there in the one front, but KB Jellies also took his hands off his keyboard there, just face struck a bush.
Trying to find something, but there's not much that they can really find. Covert Panda not doing the damage that the Twitch would be expected to do. That's going to be a lot dropped even by Bentage, but they're still able to walk away. The Salt, Bentage, Covert Panda all here, but Bentage getting immediately erased off the screen as Mind's Desire goes on a secondary rampage, and we see them continuing to chase more. They wanted the Drake. They wanted to stop the Drake. They wanted to try to stop more of that Drake stacking, but it's going to end up being Mine's Desire still continuing to go unstoppable as they drop the Salt, and they're going to take this Drake. Oh, Covert wanting to probably execute themselves.
Proxying to execute. I like it. But NRO is just, they're team fighting. They drafted a team fight team. They hit mid game accelerated somehow. Of course, I feel like that's more on an issue of FF15 and NRO just playing the early game really, really well. Sir, I don't believe you need to do this, but that's A-okay.
Right,
it's a little bit of a... Is that a 50-second death timer? Or does it say 30?
That was 30. That was 30. 35
that's
seconds.
30. Quick back smile. But that's going to be Baron for NRO, regardless of this Twitch being alive or not. 2 items picked up from the Twitch who's starting to do something.
To be able to take it by the Twitch actually dying there. Because now there's no real threat of, if the Twitch is going to pop up out of nowhere and spray and pray us while we're, Baron debuffed or whatever. So...
Yeah, but Mines is just deep in the enemy jungle, zoning everyone.
Mines is having a fun time on his own.
Yeah, he's having a little bit of a field and a little bit of a montage here on the Camille. 13, 1, and 3. Jinx has on Jinx there, 7, 1, and 9. Had to use the flash last team fight really well, of course, to avoid any of the CC from FF15. Mines might be getting caught here as the 3rd time the charms as FF15. Never mind.
From what I'm seeing, we were getting, I'm guessing the chat must be pretty lively during the game, because from what I'm seeing, we're getting some serious chatter right now from both ends. So What's going on, guys? What was? Well, you're a 50-50 player, so jeez, guys, we're getting closer and closer to playoffs, and this is when all the trash talk really starts. It has been very, very prominent so far, and now I see why TJ is sitting here crying for the chat to be
And
said. I'm
baby.
guessing these guys are typing because this is, you see them pausing for quite some time. So Mine's Desire said, I got something to prove. As we see KB Jelly, Covert Panda now looking for him. He has to use the hook shot to try to get away. And that's going to be a little
What if
bit
you
more
go
ghost
in with that one?
activated. And he's going to be trying to jump in. Covert Panda losing
Oh,
his
didn't dodge it,
life
but doesn't
so
matter.
quickly as the Mine's Desire just jumps right on top of him. Baron buffed 4 team members on the side of NRL now pushing up. I'm very curious to see what's going to be going on here. These guys just don't seem to have a care in the world. As we see,
Jinx is in Death
Kaz
Realm.
continues to go ahead and try to push even forward, dominating as they kill the Mordekaiser, and more team members from the side of FF15 is being continuously dropped as they attempt to fight against a team fight team, and it ends up working out for the side of NRO. Bentage being the only member of FF15 now still standing. This Nexus is going to drop, and game 1 belongs to the side of NRO.
NRO just absolutely demolished every state of the game there. Almost every whoopsie was pretty much overwritten by someone on NRO just playing super duper well or in the right spot on the right time. Mines is either having a field day, 15-1-4, 19 KDA, top in the damage charts there. They're in the spotlight though with Kaz there, 9-1-11. Super kind of silent on this Jinx compared to Mines. They're just having a field day in the enemy jungle on the enemy side of the map. All of NRO played super well. I don't even know if you really want to make a change. I was almost wrong on this Swain Shyvana, really surprising me here in the early game there, making just plays after plays after plays after plays.
That I think right now, take a few moments for yourselves, FF15, to kind of like go back to the drawing board. I don't think that necessarily they had a bad team. I just think that they just got outplayed in certain places, and that's just kind of what led to it. Like certain roams and things like that just kind of allowed the side of NRO to just overall run the game.
Yeah, something I noticed, KB Jelly never roamed. Like I talked about that in the pregame here and in draft. We were hoping for this Maokai to be roaming around the map, right? Kind of start these plays for the rest of F15 to finish, and he kind of stayed really locked down in bot lane, and it felt like it was for the worst. Twitch being almost baited into some of these plays from KB Jelly, either not having ult at the right time, using it at the wrong time, being in the wrong spot, and not necessarily like to put it all onto KB because Covert Panda had a couple fairly questionable plays, but that felt more later on in the game where it kind of just stopped mattering. NRO was going to win no matter what we did. But 1-0 for NRO over FF15, and that gives side selection to FF15. They opted for this red side to get counterpick of some role, and that was this Urgot here. Not doing too hot. So it's like a full...
We do have KB Jelly sitting here saying that I won't argue the fact that we lost Bob because of me, I'll admit. It's pretty interesting, KB, because I thought you had some pretty interesting angles when you were trying to attempt to engage on them. But they did. It does kind of suck because they kind of did pick a bot lane that did counter against you. I didn't think the Braum would be a super, super big factor, but it was. And that is something that I was kind of surprised. Like it did actually like block out a lot of the potential for the Twitch damage to come out, for your ultimates to hit, things like that. So I find it very interesting that this was the turnout of the game at this moment. But I don't think that you guys are completely out of it. I think that just means maybe some things just need to be tuned up. Getting you on something that can allow you to roam while also being able to support the Salt at the same time will definitely help you guys out a lot more. And then also trying to avoid certain fights.
Yeah, but other than that, everything... It just kind of felt like FF15 didn't take any of their options early game. From what I've seen of them and what I know of these players, they want to fight early, and it looked like they were almost scared to fight early. That's, what happens. It's okay, but now you're kind of backed into the wall here against a team that's on a huge momentum spike. So you got to find something to change. Do we have a way to look at that last draft there?
Oh, yeah,
we could really quickly go over that because I feel like these teams are going to want to be able to have some extra minutes to talk. So I think I can take like a minute here before we head to break if we need to.
I actually don't have the previous. Do I still have the link to that previous draft copy and pasted? Give me 2 seconds to see if I do actually.
Maybe we can just sneak into that channel and pull it up.
Yes. Actually,
Let me
you
just
should have
sneak
your
into.
production. You should be able to sneak into that and grab that too. Actually.
Yeah, I stuck into it real quick.
Perfect.
So I understand like the bot site focus bans, and Camille was picked on second round, so we banned the right champions there. It just kind of the Mordekaiser R1 is not it personally. If we're gonna like really nitpick this, it just feels so random. And I understand it's a flex with the Salt and with Smoothie, but when you're picking it so early and you have a player like Mines who's confident on the Camille to take that matchup, you need a better option. You need to find something that's a little more focused. You need to either find a jungler that's willing to pull the trigger, because the Salt seems super willing to pull the trigger. So you either need to find something that's going to do that, or you just need a mindset change. And if you want to run this back, but we did see last night a team want to run back their drafts again and again, which was the G2 PSG series. It didn't go too well for them. So I would recommend a little bit of a change of heart if I was FF15, like a complete redesign of your draft, not your bans.
You know what? You're completely right, because I don't feel like this is the type of draft that I've normally seen from FF15. I mean, the Urgot and the Lux, I kind of expect a bit of. And I think the Maokai as well. But I'm not sure how I felt about the Mordekaiser in the jungle, per se, specifically. It was just something a little like you're saying. It was just something that I wasn't completely expecting, and I've seen it work. And it looked like the Salt actually had some good moments on the Mordekaiser, but I like you said, it might be something that they might need to change when it comes to the identity. I think that might be a good thing to maybe look at. And then Twitch, I'm not sure, maybe that they were just looking for like late game insurance with Twitch. But if you're gonna be doing that, you definitely need to play something that can either bolster the Twitch early or protect it heavy early as well.
Yeah, but I've got nothing else. Let's unless you have anything else you want to really go over before this next game.
I think we should be good. I'm just currently awaiting the guys to send us the lobby. So I don't think there's really much else that I can personally say. If anybody wants to, and are working on it, I gotta
go grab some coffee.
Let me go back to the. Cause I have the. Go ahead. I do have the matchup actually posted right here. We were just re-looking at the draft screen again, just so you guys could actually see what was going on. So just a quick recap, we saw a very, very strong showing by Mind's Desire from the last game. I can actually pull up, I still have the end game screen pulled up here, so you guys will be able to see this. We see a very, very strong showing from Mind's Desire, secondly followed by Kaz, and then tertiary followed by Kid Buu. For the overall win for NRO, showing in very, very good fashion, as they managed to be about 4K gold up at about, I want to say it was 14 to 15 minutes into the game, and then they just immediately ballooned their entire lead by taking some consistently good fights. I would definitely say that they did a damn good job. Kid Buu, don't be afraid to give your ADC the kills if you gank for him. I know. I think he only did like twice, but it was just pretty funny to watch that. It was like the rocket was gonna hit. Like, come on, you could have given that one to Jinx. It would have maybe made the game end like 30 seconds sooner. And while we wait Halfling here, guys, I also want to remind everybody that here at Valhalla Esports, if you don't mind or are able to, go right ahead and drop your Prime subs with us and guarantee yourself 30 days of love with Valhalla Esports. And that's what I've been waiting for. Let's go. And I do have the, if you guys post the link, if any of the guys can hear me here, if you post link in the Discord, I am actually looking at the Discord now, so I'm ready for it. And I see FF15 has selected red side to for this game, so they're willing to stick on the same sides. Thank you guys for making it a little bit easier for me, so I don't have to completely change over the overlay. So that's at least one cool thing. Oh, hello. And there we go. So we do see FF15 taking on red side, so NRL once again going on blue side. I'm thinking that's actually something that NRO is going to be very happy with. They just went ahead and won on the red side. So perfect. Thank you. Oh, why did it load up in the wrong damn browser? Don't do this to me. My entire freaking thing. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. It's a whole freaking like. Wait. So for some reason it just likes to open up in the wrong browser. I thought I had everything ready. Whoops, guys. Technical difficulties. Gotta love it. I work in IT, and yet I will always have technical difficulties, no matter what. It just happens. Let's go ahead and get this second draft up and running. I'll say ready. All right, guys, let me go ahead and get the draft screen ready and waiting for you guys. I'm so sorry for the crazy difficulties, guys. Draft screen, here we go. And just so you guys know, they have not started the draft just yet. I am just letting them know that I'm ready, but I'm guessing they're getting the rest of their players up and ready to go. And really quickly, while we wait for Halfling to come back, I will go ahead and throw the pause up on the screen. You guys go ahead and enjoy this for a little bit, and we will be right back with you guys. And with that, we're getting right into the draft. Welcome back to week 8 of Valhalla Esports. This is NRO versus FF15. NRO, once again, is on the blue side. Red side is going to be FF15. You guys see now we do have the first couple of bans already coming through, as Senna banned on the side of NRO. Shyvana being banned by the side of FF15. They do not want to see Kid Buu back on that once again. I really do like these adjustments already. Both teams are trying to make something happen, and we are actually right on time with them. So you guys are going to basically be seeing these for the most part live alongside them. We do see NRL banning out the Misfortune in second, FF15 banning out the Vayne second. The final ban for the first phase is going to be Morgana for NRL and Vigar for the side of FF15. And we're going to be getting right into these picks. And I believe Halfling has rejoined us here. Caitlyn being left
around.
There we go. And Caitlyn being left open for the side of NRL, and they want to take it.
Yeah, it's one of Hazard's more signature picks. At least we can what I know from him and what you can see on his account. He's always been very good at the Caitlyn, and that kind of puts Night Raid Owls in their prio lane situation that they seem to not always draft. They really like just having all options on the table. Leona's a decent response, especially at level 16 or at level 6 into the Caitlyn, but it's really hard from that 1 to 5, 1 to 6 range where Caitlyn just has free range and free autos on you. So I'd like to see something like that Varus there that can duel and compete with range for the Caitlyn.
And I do really like the fact that they're sticking with the Braum here for Night Raid Owls to continue that protection for the ADC in that bot lane. And honestly, it's gonna be a good body block for a lot of the stuff that the Leona is gonna be wanting to try to go in for the Varus projectiles. So they're keeping the same type of message, because they could have easily picked back up the Jinx once again for the side of NRO, and we see the Corki being the final pick of the first phase for the side of NRO as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're staying with that Braum pick that's always worked really well. And I'm perfectly fine with it. I can't see the draft on your screen, by the way.
Whoopsies.
So I'm just watching on stream, so I'm very behind. So now I can see that Corki. There we go. And
worries,
keeping with that high range from NRO, so it looks like they're going to go with a little more of a poke composition, which is always good. That does open up Jace bans, because I know Mines can play Jace, and he'll be very willing to just bust it out. So I want to see FF15 here ban it, but it looks like they're going to kind of fall for that trap. They're banning that Camille from the emotional response of, damn, that Camille hurt us, which is true. But now Trend is open, which is a big Mines champion, and Jace is also open to kind of fully commit into a poke comp if they'd really like to. But honestly, I can see him just picking up Tryndamere and split pushing until the end of the earth.
Lilia, though, being the final ban here for the side of NRO, and I'm glad to see that they banned out the Xerath. They don't want to give anything for Bentage to potentially be strong on, and if I'm being honest with you, Bentage can really turn it up for his team when he's feeling the heat. So it's a good thing to try to keep that person on their team as cold as possible. So I do really like the fact that they kind of really banned towards him a lot, and then also the Lilia being banned there. No one wants to deal with the swifting murder deer everywhere. Oh, I love this. This is a weird pick that Benjic likes to pick up, but it's something that he has shown a little bit of like prowess on, and it is Zyra. So that's actually really, really awesome to see that being picked up here. Night Raid Owls now looking like they're hovering the Poppy. They left it up. I just realized that. They left it up. Is KB going to be able to get it? No, remember, don't.
That's not even KB.
I know, but they left the Poppy.
So that's gonna be Poppy top.
Oh, are they?
It's a counter into Zac top.
Oh man.
They're taking away the Poppy, and then they're using it as a counter to Zac top.
I'm just gonna say this. This is hilarious that they managed to do that, because KB has been begging for like seasons to finally get Poppy in a game, and just to be like, ooh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
They are one Leona. There was no way he was getting Poppy.
I know. It's just hilarious.
It's sad.
It's just so hilarious to me, because it's like, hey, you could have gotten it. You could have had it the whole time. I love how they picked that up, and that's when I realized that it's like, oh, it's not about making that connection, but it's just hilarious now to see it, because they could have given him the Poppy. He could have finally had it. So it's just really funny. I mean, I don't think, obviously this is not their last game of the season for the side of FF15. I would highly doubt. So he might be able to get it again, but this is the closest chance. And we do see Set and Vi being the final two picks from both sides of NRO and FF15 respectively. How are these teams looking this time around? I personally really like this Set pick. I've never seen Mines play it, but man, I can already tell this is going to be a fun one to watch in this top side. Oh wait, no, it's Set jungle.
Jungle.
Sorry.
Set jungle. Set jungle for Vi response. It could technically be Poppy jungle as well. But I feel like both those champions can kind of get flexed around. We'll have to see what happens in draft. I'm gonna assume with Poppy jungle, because that's more popular. Of course, that could just be wrong. Let me see if they declared anything. They just posted the draft. But assuming if it's Poppy jungle and that is Vi jungle, Poppy is a very good counter into Vi, and she'll have to be kind of playing a little more towards top side. It'll be a lot easier. You can't really gank Zyra, and you want to be able to help counter that Zac for your Set. Set's able to kind of brawl with the Zac if he's able to play the mini game with the blobs. So that's kind of the top side. If it's Set jungle and Poppy top, Poppy is a great matchup into Zac. We've actually seen Mines play this matchup before and perform pretty well in the Poppy, at least in the early game. Imagine he's had more time to practice Poppy, and so he's probably a lot better in the mid and late game, which he seemed to struggle with last time he picked the Poppy. And with Set jungle has a fairly standard clear. Most champions are fairly standard nowadays in the jungle in terms of clear speed. A little slower than Vi, but that's a-okay. And what he doesn't have in clear speed, he makes up for in the fact that he's just going to run to your jungle and beat the shit out of you, as sets do. So either way, I think NRO has great options here.
I do like that. And guys, once again, in about 3.5 minutes, the predictions will be closing, but they are up. So who are you guys looking to win? Right now, it's looking like FF15 has some real fans, dropping about 57.5K onto the side of FF15 in points right now. So, actually, there's 3 people also for the side of NRO, but only about 20K dropped at the current moment for the side of NRO. So, it's a pretty big bet that's being put right now, but people are putting a lot of faith in the FF15. They're really putting their points where their mouth is. Never mind, the odds have officially been swapped up as we see NRO immediately jump up in some of the voting with 50.2K now. So it's still a 47-53 split, but there's still 3 minutes left to be able to get that in there. So everybody is saying R. So it looks like we are about to jump right into the draft stream. We will officially see all the placements of the different drafts and get into the game after the 3-minute spectator delay. So we still got plenty of time to talk this over. Once again, we do just want to reiterate these games, I believe, have a lot of playoff contentions under them at the moment, Halfling, as you explained in the beginning of the game.
Sort of. I think there's more contentions on if it's possible for any other team below FF15 to be able to hit 5th seed. But to my understanding, FF15 can pretty much do nothing and still make playoffs. Same thing with NRO. NRO actually clinched their division. So it's more of bragging rights and FF15 kind of trying to prove themselves in playoffs right now. But all that we've seen so far is NRO just showing that they're a cut above the rest.
And I just saw that TJ's trying to bribe us. I didn't realize that he had said this earlier, but he's trying to bribe us by keeping the chats on.
I think we can leave it on this game. I think it'll be interesting. Seeing how they were typing after that game, it might be interesting. There's a couple things you do need to change. I think your objective is getting hidden under the map because your UI size is so small. I think if you can maybe poke with that stuff, if you want to poke with that stuff for the game, otherwise we can just deal with it. Didn't seem like it was that big of an issue this last game.
Yeah, we can honestly, like, after this, I think for this series we'll be just fine, and then I will mess around with those spectator settings and stuff like that probably just another time. So if I have to do this again, we'll have it a little bit more fine-tuned. But this time around, because honestly, I just don't know all the spectator controls off the top of my head. I should just look up a cheat sheet and just have that ready. So
I'll send you what you need to type or do right away.
Oh, dude.
In prep chat, of course.
Cool. Yeah, it's just a matter of me actually being like, let me just memorize this stuff real quick and then be good to go. Let me go ahead and swap these screens here. But just making sure that we give everybody a smooth experience, able to see everything that they can. That's all that matters here, because the beginning of that was a little scuffed. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It happens. It happens. It's fine.
I know, but it's, you gotta love it. We make things work here. Alrighty, there we go. Now we got the right screen up and running, so you should be able to see everything. Everybody else is seeing everything right. 30 seconds real quick for the call outs. We have Mind's Desire on the set in the top side, Kid Boo in the jungle with the Poppy, Excellence in the mid lane with the Corki, Kaz on the Caitlyn as the ADC, and Braum as Dainty Ataco on the Braum in the support role. And then for the side of FF15, we have HYG Smoothie in the top lane on the Zac. We have the Salt on the Vi, Bentage on the Zyra in the mid lane, Varus being played by Covert Panda in that bot side, as well as Leona being picked up by Dainty Taco in the support role. We have these. Now, those are your call outs. What do you think now that we have the official placements of these two? What are these two teams looking like here?
I still like it. Set has the face breaker, I think it is, to grab the Zac during the mid jump. As long as he's got his mouse on the Zac, it's perfectly fine. He'll be able to cancel that Zac jump, which is super important. Same thing with Poppy. But But Poppy being able to pull some shenanigans around the map, I think, is much more important. Able to stop the Leona. Has a couple more options compared to Set into Zyra, just because of her general high speed. But I still think mid is fairly ungankable for both teams. F15 having the Vi though is a little more standard, and Zyra follow up is good, but takes a little longer compared to everything else. Corki might have time to be able to Valkyrie on the way out. Bot lane is going to be push for NRO pretty obviously, unless something disastrous happens early, which I do honestly hope FF15 looks a little bit early game. They do try and make something happen with the Vi, with the Zyra combo that they do have early game.
That's actually something I was looking like. It kind of reminds me of like say like Renekton Nidalee that they used to play a lot, where it's like gets the guaranteed hit for like Nidalee to get the guaranteed Q because of the stun. There's a lot of combination in that sense with the Vi Zyra, so I do really like that. But I'm kind of scared for the fact that this Poppy was able to get through, and it's just gonna be I feel like it's just going to be a constant nuisance for the side of FF15, where they're going to be trying to engage, and it's just like, we don't need to engage on you. You guys are forced to engage on us, and we just have literally a normal ability as a shut you down button. So this will be actually pretty interesting to watch. I think they're going to have a really hard time engaging in team fights, and if this Caitlyn is basically just free firing from the back and they have really no entry to her, this is going to be a very difficult game for the side of FF15, but if they can make something happen in this early game, I wouldn't put it past them to be able to eke out this winning game too.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what FF15 can do. They have so many engage options, but they do lack a little bit of damage if they're not fighting chokes. It'll be very important for FF15 to fight in the jungle and keep NRO there, because NRO has a few less split push options than they did last game.
I'm curious if FF15 is gonna be they have once again another really good potential invade team. I'm actually curious to see if they're gonna be the ones to push forward this time and actually try to do something a little bit earlier in the jungle. Like you have Leona to lock them up, you have Zac to land on top of them. There's a lot of potential here from their side. I really want to see them try something. I've never seen that Zac skin before. What?
Oh, it's new.
Okay, because
newer.
I've never seen that Zac skin before. That's absolutely insane. Zesty Dip Zac. All right, I'm giving the skin game to them just for that one. Just for that one alone. Like that's all I needed to see.
It'll be. I'm a little curious. Is there anything weird? I'm a little questioning the Airy from Vintage here. He seems to know what he's doing, but I also have chat on there. And you just hit O and U to turn. Oh no, you got that up already. So you just have to hit U to turn off time. Or is U chat? I don't know. Chat's off. It'll be fine.
Oh, and then chat.
Everyone will live.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Boom. Get to watch this invade and a 5-point from
the 5-point wasn't even from the team that was supposed to. The 5-point was from the team that was supposed to do the invade.
Bromq, baby.
Yep, lands right on
Bang.
top of HYG. Smoothie now being drawn right back in. Not going to be able to escape. This is actually going to be the first blood immediately going over. Vintage just walk away. There's no reason to give this, to try to help him out. Instead, they're going to give Kaz the first kill, first blood going over to NRO and a nice little invade.
It's a disaster. It's just a bit of a disaster there. When you're playing top lane, you don't want to stand in that bush. Really ever. It's so scary. You can't ever get away. The second you see people, it's pretty over. It's why they tell you to stand forward, towards dot brush or anything, because you're going to be able to get out of there faster. It gets checked less on those invades if it gets checked. Damn, that sucks, bro. You have a Zac jump and flash, and you have more time to react. But Bromq landing there, claiming the kill. It's why every time we see Brom, we ask for invades, because it's just so strong compared to everything else. And a kill onto Caitlyn's going to be a longsword, which is just important. But of course, now Set also has an assist and a little bit of XP lead, so he's going to look for a long trade on a smoothie.
And this is definitely going to be a big one for the set. And that's what I kind of expect, especially with Smoothie not having the Zac passive here. Once set hits level 2, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Zac to be able to fight him. Like, this is actually looking like they've set up mines to have a much easier lane time now for at least the beginning parts of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how FF15 is going to be able to kind of claw their way out of this, especially in bot lane, because you can see already there. Look how ahead this Caitlyn is, and she just gets to decide whether or not if this Varus walks up to lane and not. And that's why we saw banned game 1. But it's just going to be such a huge advantage. And Sets also has his push on to Zac, and we can see him looking in for this vision. He's going to find Vi on red with his ward here in a second. And if you're NRO, this is just perfectly as planned. Everything's going exactly as you orchestrated. You now see the Vi. There's Vi, and Poppy's gonna have a gank here, either mid lane or look for an invade on Vi.
Honestly, it's looking like we potentially invade, but we do see the little fight going on. HYG Smoothie able to hit level 3 before set, actually. So was able to get a small little engage on him. Steals the red and jumps on top of the Vi. The Salt now not able to get away as Kid Buu able to block off the Vault Breaker. Is going to be able to continue to attack. Flash being expelled by the Vi, having to get away from Poppy. HYG Smoothie now trying to fight Mind's Desire, trying to get away, but not going to be able to. Having to flash there as well. Kaz being landed on top of by KB Jelly. Why did I almost say the wrong completely thing? But KB trying to go ahead and get more, but no, instead brought down to about 15% HP.
It's such a... Is it like desperate? Do you even want to call it desperation at that point with the Leona engage in their bot lane? But that's the exact ward there. That's why we saw the second the Prio, we saw the Poppy invade. You can see coming from a mile away, and sadly there, the Salt's just missing some key critical information as the Poppy's able to get that red buff and get the kill into the jungle. But
trying to get away. He can't escape now, but there's going to be a lot of damage coming out, and it's not going to be enough to be able to take him out. Instead, KB Jelly going to end up losing his life as Vi comes down here, able to take him out, but that's going to be the Caitlyn being dropped as well, as Dainty Taco now trying to run away. Ghost being used by Covert. Panda, he really wants to try to get Dainty Taco, but not going to be able to do so. Able to return a kill onto the bot laner down in that bot side, but 2 kills onto this Caitlyn, who is actually starting off with a little lethality.
Yeah, the Salt... instantly recognized what he was supposed to do once he saw that Poppy there ganking top once again, staying in that top side of the map. Instantly came bot, instantly punished that Caitlyn only has cleanse, and that doesn't really help against any of the champions. Even like it's really useful for Leona ult stun. Everything else is so short, and Kid Buu's back top lane there. Now counter jungling once again once he saw that Vi bot side. Now ganking top, knowing it's free. Just a little bit of chip damage, a little bit of a tent flashed from the Zac, recognizing his position as a little screwed, and then another cross map here in bot lane, as maybe our camera will go into that red buff there, but we can see on the map Leon and Vi taking the red buff. This is very, not necessarily correctly, because there's of course been a myriad of errors to get to this point, but of course NROs and FF15 are responding very well into their opposing lanes matchups, and looks like FF15 might have priority over this dragon now.
Yeah, they definitely do. Kid Buu, I don't think had the same type of information as FF15 did, and didn't end up realizing that they were completely invading his red side. I think that should have just been an assumption made. Jumps in on top of them as the Salt is right down here. Kaz now able to barely get away as they were under their turret. Gets one more auto, and that's not going to be good for the Salt. Is he going to be able to get away? No. He does, with just a sliver of his HP left, and he could have potentially lost it, but Varus ends up getting dropped and loses his life there, as now Kaz wants to continue the chase, but not going to continue anymore, and instead going to opt into farming as Vi manages to get away ever so barely.
Yeah, this is a very scrappy bot lane there. Both AD carries benefiting greatly, both falling, of course, but the lethality coming in so much more important here in the early game. Attack speed, not really a great stat in the early game, especially coming from Zerker Greaves versus a lethality, but that Leona Zenith Blade just barely missing on a Kaz there. You can see how antsy FF15 is here to fight, and it looks like they found something.
Kaz gonna have to go ahead and try to flash out, but the flash being
Oh,
expelled by Covert Panda, and now that's gonna end up being him able to take out the Caitlyn, getting a little shutdown gold onto him. This bot lane looking extremely even in my personal opinion. Uses the suplex right there, gonna be able to try to drag the Zac from under his tower. Want to get a little bit more fighting, but Smoothie looking really good on this Zac and actually holding his own against Mines on the set. But the farm disparity right now is probably the first thing that's going to prove to be a major problem here for the top side of FF15.
yeah, holding his own is a relative term
Yeah.
term here, as being almost completely Flame Horizon after this wave at 7 minutes and 30 seconds is a little tragic. Set able to pick up 2 of these tower plates fairly shortly here, with that set passive, auto passive, and the Q reset there just mattering so much. Zac pinging that Poppy, recognizing that she's just camping top, and he's asking for that Vi to do something bot lane, but that Braum causing so many of those plays, just forcing them to be 1-for-1s, and that's just not what you're looking for. FF15, they're down 2,000 gold here at 7 minutes. Not as bad as it was last game, but it feels so much worse, honestly.
It feels worse because the change from FF15 made to adjust, to take some bans and hold on, as we got Excellence going ahead and engaging, but Bentage ready for that as he manages to force the flash out of Excellence. Nicely done by Bentage, but this
Ooh,
bot lane
Vi.
is a little too cocky from the side of NRO, as Vi is here to go ahead and help Kaz, now being obliterated by Covert Panda, and Dainty Taco just gonna have to try to walk away, may be able to, as they go ahead and go for the tower dive. Not gonna be enough as the double kill goes over to Covert Panda. This Varus now looking damn good.
Yeah,
There-
when you're pushing his blue side, you don't want your wards where they are. You can see that they have each of their wards in the tri brushes. You can't see the Vi if she ever comes from river there, and you don't need to really see her come from tri-brush because you have so much time with that. Whereas if you put your ward in the river, you'll see her come from tri-brush and you'll see her come from river. So it's a little bit of a misplay there on either the support or the AC, depending on who used their ward. Mine's 1v1ing top lane there, as sets do. He's also just destroyed this tower. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that farm difference is starting to make a big deal. When I say holding his own, it's more like, hey, he's not completely giving up everything, you know. It's not like he's giving up everything.
He's not 0-10, but
yeah, exactly. But Bentage right now looking
Oh.
like he's going back to the gray screen, getting his first death. But that's also
The
going to
root,
be
though.
Excellence going to the gray screen, as well as Vi's able to take a kill for themselves for the first time in this game. So both mid laners end up giving up their lives in that little bit of a weird roam into the red side of NRO. But it's gonna end up being a overall still a winning game for the side of NRL.
Yeah, I wonder if these coin flips are from the Poppy, because it's a lot of flipping and a lot of fighting here. This whole Goldie that we do see from NRO is virtually all topside. I'm pretty sure it just is all topside. All that matters anyway. So on the map, with Poppy running around like this, NRO's actually behind, probably about 500 to 1,000 gold. Especially if you look at these plays bot lane, the opportunity from Caitlyn is a much more poke focused rune. You're meant to combo, you're meant to land something and then kind of reset off of that, rather compared to what we're used to seeing from most Caitlyn's, even most lethality Caitlyn's. Yomu's has a little bit more flexibility compared to everything else. So could be interesting to see how NRO is able to play around that. Other than that, no objectives at least coming up soon enough. We do see what I'm assuming is grubby grubs coming up in there, and NRO has 3 of them already, so they're going to be putting priority onto there. And we see pings from FF15 trying to find those instead.
Well, yeah, because they already managed to secure the first 3 on the side of NRO a little while ago. So they definitely don't want to try to give up these next 3 to them. So you can see they're trying to set up brushes. They're trying to see what they can do. But there's vision on that brush from the side of NRO. So they knew that Vi and Zyra were there. So instead, I guess they're going to opt to not do that. And they're going in immediately onto him. Are they going to be able to get it? Yes, they do. As they're able to slay him. But Kaz is going to have to flash away, trying to get away. Gets ignited.
Oh, the ignite's so toxic.
That's so disgusting. That's gonna be unfortunate as Kaz ends up losing their life to the Leona, but it still ends up being an overall kill for the for both ADCs, I believe. Actually, no, it's just overall win for NRL because the ADC was able to secure that kill for themselves. I feel bad because the Varus is just doing so much damage. I didn't realize how much damage Varus can do with just a Bork, but it's a lot apparently.
Yeah, especially if he gets those stacks there. And but that shutdown being picked up by Caitlyn, super important there. We saw her pick up that pickaxe as well. Sitting in those free boots, doing the right thing there. Just picking up more items, picking up more lethality. Gonna hit even harder when she does get to auto attack finally after 10 seconds. So it'll be very interesting to see how NRO is going to be able to use that to find this dragon here. But they are missing some important CDs that Caitlyn Flash will be down, and probably ult as well from Caitlyn. So it'll be very interesting to see whether or not if they give this up or they do try and contest it with what I assume is Corki package here coming up in a second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be completely surprised if NRL just allows to give up this dragon. I wouldn't be they probably.
Oh yeah, he's just letting it rip.
Here it goes. Yep, Corky's here. He's ready to go. This is actually a really good way to zone people off of these fights here. Like, if you just have Corky there and you know he has package, it's a really good way to just be like, all right, guys, we need to back off because they try to fight. We might get completely burnt up and separated in the fights. And we do see that end up happening here, though, because Caitlyn just gets immediately jumped on top of, having to use the cleanse, trying to get a kill. Excellence able to take out the Varus in the background, but the ADC on the side of NRO also ends up being dropped. But KB Jelly now trying to go ahead and get away, but he can't. He gets suplexed away, KB. Oh, no. That's going to be you getting taken out by your main there. I don't know. That's actually his main, but one of his favorites by the Poppy, as there's going to be more being dropped. Oh, the ultimate comes out from the Zyra. Not going to be able to get anybody else except for Kid Buu knocked up. And that's not going to be the Drake going over to anybody in this current moment. But overall, fight won by NRO.
Yeah, we see both these AD carries here rushing back to the fight. Mine's Zyra trying to find something on a Smoothie. Might be something here in a second. Vi doesn't have the ult.
I think Kid Buu just needs to let them give up this. You're way too low. You couldn't reset. And it's just unfortunate, but you're going to have to let this Drake go.
You know, it could be a little bit of a steal here from the Braum. Does have ult. Yep, we've seen it before.
KB
looks like they're just poking.
Here. Yep, KB's stopping them from being able to do that. I think it's all right. I think the map that we're getting is going to be Chemtech Soul. So, you know, the Drake stacking is sad, but I think for because I don't think there's a whole lot of healing, shielding that's really coming out except for maybe Set. So I don't think this is going to really be a Drake that's going to benefit either one of these teams a whole lot.
Yeah, NRO is just going to be taking it just so they don't have to deal with the soul as soon. But other than that, they're just chilling.
I personally have not been really paying attention to the gold for the last couple minutes just to make sure that I'm not just
ballooned a bit.
Yeah. Oh man, Varus, nicely
good flash.
done, able to get away from that, and now he's turning right around. As we do have, it's an AD in a jungle versus a support in jungle. Who's gonna be able to go ahead and make this happen? It misses.
Oh, field goal.
Oh, that's fine though. They backed off as soon as they realized that the Caitlyn was there, and that would have probably been a bad fight. And Mines was actually coming from above them. I believe he used the TP to go down bot side to help there. So it's gonna be unfortunate, but Varus. Okay, so we got our first little bit of all chat here. It's looking like the two teams are actually a lot more concentrated. So that's why I feel like FF15 is just a little bit more. And yes, they are. As we see, goes right in on top of them. Kaz! So unfortunate, but you're going to end up losing your life there. And so is Dainty Taco too. And the rest of the team is going right in on to Mine's Desire as he uses the ultimate to go ahead and to get KB Jelly away from everybody else. The rest of the team of FF15 decided they were trying to converge on there. They wanted a lot more. But that's one kill that they definitely got that was good for them and not without losing any members.
Yeah, they finally traded something. They finally got a kill that isn't 1-for-1, so they finally get to recover a little bit of that gold deficit that we were going to talk about. It was about 4,000 gold at 15 minutes there. Or NRO turned to about 3,000 here, 2,500, 3,500 just about right now. So nothing too insurmountable, especially if you are an FF15 fan here. They've got a pretty good team comp here. We've seen how hard it is to take and hold space against the Zyra, and we saw there that on-hit Varus does work when he's not targeted, and it's really hard for NRO to target him. They don't have a lot of tools really too, and FF15 has this really simple, the Vi has chosen you to die comp, as what I like to call it, and FF15 is following up on that really perfectly, actually.
Yeah, the gold lead has actually started to really the gap is starting to close a little bit, as it was just at almost 4K a few moments ago, and now it's just under 2. So, or it's just over 2. So this is actually looking pretty good for the side of F15. They definitely want to try to force this into a game 3.
And I think if you want to hit X here real quick,
Yes.
your keyboard, that should show our gold graphs here. Sweet. So we can see that this gold lead is for NRO is pretty much exclusively in the solo lanes of NRO, and we haven't actually really been seeing them in these fights. It's mostly been these bot lanes, and that actually puts the lead in FF15's favor. So we have to keep that in mind. Who's in these fights? Because all this gold is on the set and Corki. If they're not landing stuff, if they're not really in these fights, it's the fights are so FF15 favor. They have such an easy comp to play, and we saw how fast this Vi was able to execute someone.
So this is definitely.
Oh, she ulted there.
Yeah, that's a
questionable.
Clear it.
Nothing's up though. I hope.
No, it's just kind of the dead time. So we're looking pretty good as Smoothie decides to engage onto Excellence. Now that was pretty well done. I like seeing this Zach here. Early game was not looking pretty well. Mine's Desire, though, going to be trying to sit here and fight both Bentage. Never mind. Now he's going to have 3 members on him. Mines, you got to be careful as the shutdown onto Mines is now being taken by the Varus. We're starting to see more members going ahead and doing a little bit more here, but they got to be a little bit more careful on the side of NRL. Because that was a big landing. Yeah, and that's going to be so many ultimates being used, but they all just land on top of everybody in a row. Immediately getting eviscerated in that mid side after taking that tower. Nicely done for FF15 to converge.
Yeah, Vi chose that both of the bot laners from NRO was just going to die there. And she executes that little right now, so not quite able to look for any play, but they're going to be able to grab this tower. But KB Jelly finding Kidbu?
Done. Excellent.
What are they doing?
Going to be able to go right in the middle with that package, trying to get somebody here, but they're still pressing forward. And right now, FF15 looking pretty damn good, especially this Varus.
Yeah, I think NRO has kind of forgotten that they aren't actually really winning this game, and they've been playing without their carries for so long now. And this coin flipping that I kind of brought up last game and it working, and I maybe brought up earlier this game, NRO does like to coin flip a lot of things. They do like to kind of take a lot of risks and see what happens. And we saw there with Kid Buu, they're just kind of sending it a bit and hoping and throwing it. It should be a feeler, but of course it's a Vi, so her whole body's in there. But a fight developing here in jungle. Oh, flash.
And they immediately jump right on the Covert Panda. That's exactly what they want. Once you get him out the fight, there's not much else you could do. Set able to take that kill, but that's exactly what you want now since Caitlyn wasn't there immediately. Now without the Varus there, these guys don't want to fight anymore. They see this is what happens. Now they realize target selection is important. If you guys can get the Varus, the rest of the team really can't fight you too well.
Yeah, and a side effect, or well, a benefit of coin flipping teams is that they're really quick to pull that trigger there. And we saw Kid Buu there just sent it. He's like, oh, Varus is here. It doesn't matter that I'm so far away from my team. And Mines was able to instantly follow up as well. They're flashing on it, using his own flash just to find that Varus there. But that guarantees a fight, guarantees the dragon. That get more time now to get some resources on this Corki. So that way this Corki can become a champion at some point here. Because as we know, Corki scales.
That was actually one of my biggest concerns, is that soon enough this Corki is going to become that like unstoppable late game machine that launches one rocket at your AD and you see them get chunked for like 800 damage. So we're currently waiting for that to come online. We do see that the tier is almost fully stacked at the 360 stacks that is needed for the tier. So we will see Mana Moon coming on for him very, very soon. Right there. So we see it as Mine's Desire is caught in between 3 different members. When Varus is there, it's very hard for Mines to be able to really do anything, as he just starts shredding him, and he does a lot of damage. He nearly gets him.
Oh, the Sundered.
Gonna be able to take that kill. So close.
Yeah, that Sundered Sky heal there, getting a little dicey. Covert Panda there, sweating just a little bit, losing half his HP from auto attack, but still finding that set there a little bit no man's land. Probably trying to set up some sort of Baron play here. just a little off kilter with his team, maybe. Not really sure what exactly was going on. But NRO's still trying to find this play, though. I don't think they want this. They still have Leona ult.
They probably don't know that Leona still has ulti, but I think I'm actually curious as to what is NRO's thought here. Trying to keep them at the Baron. We do see
Oh,
the ulti
chains.
used by the Varus, not gonna be able to land onto anybody. They're trying to get KB out of the fight. This actually might be what
Wait,
they were
mine's
looking
TP'd.
for. Oh, and Mines is now here too. The ultimate's now being used, all being drawn out. Nobody landed, no snare landed onto anybody there by the Zyra, and it was enough of a disengage from the side of FF15 to keep NRO from pushing forward. But it was still crazy to see just once immediately Mines Desire just came right up to that top side to try to go ahead and destabilize that fight, and it ended up working. They immediately backed off.
It looks like they're going to be trying round 2 here as Mind's Desire overextending once again. Vi has the cease and desist, might use it to try and lock up the set.
Has to
Actually,
flash.
the banana combo.
But now we do have KB Jelly going right over the wall, having to flash over to try and help out the try to help out the Vi. Ends up being a little bit of a help, I think, there, but Vi ends up taking him out. We're gonna see some chunk of damage from that Caitlyn ultimate used right onto the Varus there. I think it took about 33% HP just from the ult alone. So that's actually looking pretty good right now for this Caitlyn, able to do a bit of a chunk of damage with her abilities.
Yeah, that is. I don't know what. I'm so confused about Mines being there though. Like, why do you split push? I don't. I think he just thought they all reset after the play, and that's fair, but at the same time, like that's so risky. Um, and it ends up costing him his life and at least some Baron vision, but F15 not able to really look for this Baron. They are against the Corki, able to land so much poke that ace in the hole from Caitlyn, chunking them out quite a bit, but oh, looks like they had a pause there for a second. There we go.
Yep.
So we're going to pause here. Not a whole lot to talk about personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's
The game is as you see is it's as you see is what you get. They're fighting constantly, and it's just kind of the 1-for-1s from FF15 have turned into 2-for-1s in favor of them, and they're finding mines here in the side lane. Oh, power went out. Well, I gotta go fix something real quick, so I will be right back. So sorry.
no worries. DC Classic. No, actually, this time it's saying that it's Kaz. I guess the power went out for Kaz or something like that, so they're trying to get that situated now. So let's go ahead and await that. That might take a little bit of time. So as people know, if it takes more than 10 minutes, they'll just play the game as is. They'll continue on forward. So then we get basically a full game. But right now, the way it's looking, FF15 is really pushing. They say it was Kaz, but we know. We know. I'm gonna need Kid Boo to type in the chat just to be like, yeah, I'm still here, guys. If he did, he probably did. You gotta remember they're like 3 minutes ahead of us when it comes to these games. I honestly, if anything, I wouldn't be surprised if FF15 just goes, you know what, we're we're gonna win this, and we're gonna try to take down NRO from here. And I think NRO, you guys just, if you have to, focus on game 3. But it's not, this game 2 is not out of your hands just yet. They're up in kills. They have a dragon on you, but they're still just 100 gold under you. So it's still very winnable in that sense. Even though you guys were up almost 4K at about 14 minutes. So yeah. With that, I am going to eagerly await I'm gonna go ahead and put this on pause for a moment as we await for Halfling to come back. So you guys, we will be right back with you in the moment. Do not change that channel. Do not touch that dial. You guys will be seeing us momentarily after this pause. All right, all right, all right. So I just saw that we had a reconnection on the screen. So Kaz should be joining them momentarily. That's what I was waiting to hear for, and then I was gonna bring it right back to the screen again. So we are good on that route. We should be seeing Kaz rejoin momentarily. Once they do, the pause should be going. So we're just waiting for them to say R. Once they are, be ready to go in. So I think people took pee breaks and stuff like that, so it might be a little bit more time, maybe another minute or two, before we have the game continued. But aside from that, I hope everybody is enjoying the game so far today. This is actually a very exciting game between the 1 and 5th seeds. So this is personally, I love watching FF15. They're one of those teams that like they are the old unpaused. Here we go. FF15, as I was about to say, they are like the remnants of the old Titan gaming mocks. I feel like the one that like Bentage kind of led to season 2 victory. So to me, it seems spectator.
It crashed.
No, don't.
I came back and it crashed.
No, Halfling, you
God
can't be
damn
that
it.
much of a god, man.
I'm not that much of a god, sadly.
Let's go ahead and take a look at time. Oh no, we're good.
Mm.
We're good. I got scared. I just had to threaten with the time controls, and it was ready to go ahead and go right back into this. All right, cool. We're good to go. We're good to go.
Yeah, both teams trying to red side vision. Holy,
Yeah, no.
they got that place lit up.
FF15 is really trying to make sure that these Drakes do not go anywhere near the side of NRO right now. And the way this game is looking, my points is looking quite in danger right now.
Yeah, thinking it was a safe investment to go NRO here is quite mistaken. FF15 reminding us that they are in fact still a playoff contender. Going up pretty big here. Gold is even now, but when we're even here, FF15's comp is just so much easier to play. They got to land the ult. Only Vi really has to land her ult, and that's a point and click. So
very surprised that they were able to get this far into the jungle with all the vision that was set up. So like they actually might be.
It's that package.
Yeah. They have the zoning tools, and I think that's right now what the big thing is.
Oh,
but once they see Vi, they
OP,
immediately go for her. I love it.
I am a big hater of that because Vi's now got full access into their quirky missing the package. They're trying to land some poke.
Up. I just realized that she does. We do have a lot of damage landing onto the front line as Kaz is able to slay out KB Jelly. And then you have been selected going in on the back. Kaz getting taken out, but Bentage is getting taken out on the side as well as Set also gets taken out by Covert Panda. Looking damn good on this Varus. So much damage. Excellence is all that is left on the side of NRO. And now it's going to be Varus taking that kill, going crazy on the bow and arrow. As right now, FF15 is showing don't count them out just yet.
Yeah, there's some pigs there from NRO. They're onto that tri-brush there. They just kind of sent it way too hard onto that Vi there. I just don't quite understand why they burned package and so much for that Vi, because you didn't burn her flash, you didn't burn her ult, you didn't do anything, man. She just walked out. It was too trigger happy, I guess. They thought they could make it, and now they have no way to create space. They have no way to be able to peel this Caitlyn to poke a bit more, and they're being a little too trigger happy, but still Set landed a really good ult, but it doesn't matter. NRO, the Vi chose the Caitlyn. Caitlyn died. Then Varus in the backline, they're not just unabated.
I'm
Sets
starting
in
to
no
get
man's land again.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm starting to get some very serious deja vu of other times I've watched Mind's Desire play, and this is what happens as we see him get absolutely obliterated. Teams just love to focus onto him, and once he's out of the fight, most other teams can't seem to know what to do. Excellence is trying to fight. The Vi ultimate was used, but the arrow from the Varus is gonna be what slays down the Corki.
Yeah, they're just the soul landers are caught out, and that's the gold for NRO. And this gold shift now is just putting so much pressure now back into FF15's hands. And that easier comp to play is coming in so much. That Varus in that Dragon team fight just ate. The Set chose other targets to fight first. He wasn't able to get onto Varus, and Varus cut him so well. Probably using that ghost, didn't quite catch it in the fight. Just hide it around, stayed alive, kept going. And all of a sudden, that chip damage, those like 150 autos or so. That adds up now because he's autoing 4 or 5 times a second, and that execute from that Q just doing so much damage. Also, his Jack Show and
Yeah.
Terminus. You can't kill that guy.
Oh, so you mean to tell me that Varus is the other champion that can build like how Vayne builds now? That's just awesome. And this is once again what ends up happening. Mind's Desire caught out in the side lane trying to just farm a little bit out, and that's gonna be Cobra Panda going on domination as they end up taking out Mind's Desire once again.
He's split pushing without pressure from his other lanes. There's no one catching mid lane. There's the Zax's just bot lane. He's hitting that tier 3 here pretty soon.
And now he's TPing in from the bot side, ready to help his team. This is actually a pretty good Baron angle I feel for FF15, as they can just basically force and keep out or zone out the side of NRO entirely.
Yeah, my audio is getting fucked up. Okay, it's just that.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna go in the audio for a second here. Yeah, they're trying to compete for Baron.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to get in the middle here. They want to stop this Baron fight. We do see a lot of damage coming out. Red team has slain the Baron, but we're going to see the Leona being the first drop of the entire of this team, and they're trying to get a fight. Poppy now being taken out on the other side and drawn back in as Kaz is now dropped, but the vintage was dropped as well. Covert Panda, though, just way too damn fed on this Varus. There's no way that they were able, if they can't get onto him, it's basically over. 19-4, absolutely putting FF15 on his back. But we can't take it away from the unkillable Demon King in this game at the current moment, as we do see the Salt looking crazy on this Vi.
Yeah, it's the easy team fights there. That was the adjustment FF15 was looking for. They dumbed down the comp, they made it really easy to play, and now we get to see them kind of execute on that really easy to play comp. And that's not making fun of them at all. There's no problem with playing easy execute comps, and it's so surprising to see teams have to like lose games to really understand they have to go these comps to really find themselves. And we can say NRO suffering with a harder to play comp there. That's really hard. You got to set up fights, got to set a vision, got to set up a trap line. They can't even stay at objectives for longer than 10 seconds before someone pulls the trigger. They just need to figure that part out now.
And it was crazy because in that Baron fight, the Baron fight there, it looked like they had a pretty good angle on some of the carries, and Vi wasn't able to immediately get onto Caitlyn. But it just ultimately ended up turning around. They found Poppy here, able to stop. Good use of the W there to stop anybody from getting onto Poppy. And the Varus ult now also being down, even though it might not be down for long, is at least a little bit of a cooldown that's very important, that can maybe turn the tide of a fight as long as it doesn't land on anybody. Ooh, okay.
Nothing. See, they need to now. NRO has a space. Now they got to set up a trap line. Now they got to like actually take this space here, but there's no trap line. There's no nothing. So Vi's just gonna walk up in here unabated, and there's no one really to properly peel her off.
But this time they were actually able to get that objective bounty though for themselves. Nicely done by the side of NRO to be able to kind of like stop them from being able to enter into that dragon pit. That's exactly what they need to do. They don't necessarily need to fight. They just need to find a way to zone them off. Oh, and then Excellence here going in onto Bentage, but Bentage
hell are you doing?
Catching him out and just gonna immediately execute him, sending him to the gray screen. Now Kaz trying to run away as this Varus is chasing him down alongside the Poppy, but you don't understand how much damage is being done. Being selected, Vi taking out Kaz in the back line as Covert Panda continues to go ahead and keep killing, going legendary. Mind's Desire getting big damage on the Varus, but it's not gonna be enough as he gets a double kill. Gonna be taking out the entire side except for Dainty Taco, the only living member currently on the side of NRO, and I think they're going to start charging right into the base.
The only member really in the right spot of the map is just in your base. You just need to wave clear, guys. You can't contest anything. Corky first, he Valkyried into Zyra for some reason, and then all of them in the bot lane just fighting out in no man's land. That's just such a surprising way to go out for an arrow, especially considering what happened last game.
I'm actually very surprised. Wow. Okay. Well, congratulations to FF15. We're gonna go ahead and get those things updated right now. that's that hurts. That must hurt for NRO, especially because it was that I wasn't expecting that from how well they played the first game. I want to just say, Smoothie, you had a little bit of a rough start in the beginning of that game, turned it around. The Salt looking damn good on the Vi. Varus was an absolute bomb, like a nuke that went off, and that they just could not stop him. Like you said, FF15 dumbed down the comp a little bit. They had an idea in the first game, it didn't work out, so they said, "Screw it, we have to do it again, but better in the second." And they made it work. Honestly, if they kept the Maokai in there for the Leona, it would have still been okay.
I like the Leona.
I like the
instead.
Leona. Yeah, I definitely like the Leona.
It's allowed to get past the Braum shield instead. There was some kind of like couple iffy decisions made by F15 in the early game that made it a lot harder to get back into the game, of course, but nothing it seemed too drastic for them to not be able to get back into the game. We do see that NRO selected blue side again, so these teams are going to be staying on the same sides for the third time in a row, hopefully not running back those drafts once again, at least if you're NRO. Like I like poke comps, but they never controlled space. And when Set was split pushing, there was never pressure on the other side lanes or other lanes in general, really, when he was split pushing, which is why FF15 was just able to freely do whatever they wanted, and they just kept targeting him. Don't quite know if it was someone was lost, if someone was, there's miscommunication, but well played by FF15. Dumb down the comp, pick the right target, right click on them, and it just works.
Yes, sirs. Alrighty, I'm just getting stuff situated here. Let me see if I can do this. This is gonna be absolutely insane. Personally, to me, it's gonna be absolutely insane. I like seeing that these two games have become so like pivotal. Like for these two, like not pivotal. Like they just became so scrappy and just like an absolute like crazy fest entirely for everybody. Let me just say for draft, these guys are basically like they're up and ready to get right into the draft. They already sent me link and everything, so I think we're gonna be getting ready soon for this.
It should be pretty quick because NRO had the right idea game one. They knew what they were doing. They coin flipped with a good coin flip comp, and they kind of went away from that. They went to something a lot more structured, and it just kind of fell apart in their hands. And they continue to coin flip. So I want to see them go back to that scrappy team fight comp and make something easy to play. I know I sound like a broken record every single time I'm on cast. I'm talking about just play the easy to play comps, play the Maokai jungle, play the Vi jungle, just make it easy. All right, NRO just banned Vi. Never mind. No Vi option here, of course. So I guess we're not seeing that, but I would like to see NRO go to an easier to play comp if they so choose to. It worked in game one and it's worked in the past. I don't know why they're really going away from it. Same thing for FF15. Why are they banning Varus? What is going on?
They're banning out
what is
things that worked for them.
I mean, FF15 banned out Shyvana, which makes sense.
Okay,
but
hold on. Varus ban is supposed to be a Vayne ban. Varus ban is so we can keep the bans going as long as everyone remembers. But Varus ban is Vayne. Varus was supposed to be Vayne, but Vintage clicked wrong. So
I am dog shit. Thank you, Vintage. Varus is Vayne. Me no like those. It's pretty hard to misclick the wrong champion.
So,
but you know what happens.
Yeah, it happens from time to time. But at least we were able to get that taken care of. So let's not worry about it.
Let's not worry about it too much. Sejuani got picked up there from NRO. I'm on a little bit of delay until now. So Sejuani B1 is pretty reliable. Looks like NRO is going to go back to a comp that they seemed to work last week, which was a Renekton comp. Renekton Trinity top lane with that Sejuani jungle. Something melee to auto with Sejuani. It's always really strong, but they did leave up Morgana for Bentage.
I do like the Morgana being. I do like the fact that they aren't afraid of the Morgana being put onto Bentage. Morgana, I like Morgana as a champion, but I feel like just because of how dated her kit can be at times, it feels like it's an easy champion to work around. But you do have to be careful because if you do have a team that's supposed to be like an all-in 5-man, that's not
Vayne's
gonna be
banned.
fun.
Vayne's banned,
No, no, no,
guys.
no, no,
You
no, no,
banned Vayne.
no, 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 no. It's a swap. So Vayne is gonna be is in place of
Vayne's gonna be
Varus
the
for this.
Varus.
Yes.
Just remake the draft, brother. Y'all fucked it up. Or admit to your fuck up and just own it. I hate these swaps. Well, I'm a fan of literally if you ban the wrong thing, you admit to the ban on the wrong thing and just keep it. But so it means Varus is gonna be Vayne. So FF15 locked in Vayne Varus instead. So
I do
I
I do
guess
appreciate them for trying
wow.
to make it easier instead of trying to just have to remake the whole draft, go through everything again, just be like, hey guys,
But that's so
we just,
remake of the draft would be easier for visuals. They'll probably redo that for the Seer later.
yeah.
But NRO, speaking of easy to play teamfight comps, Camille Gallio.
They wanted to make Camille Gallo. Actually, I like that Camille Gallo Sejuani sounds like a really good top side to work with, especially again you want the melees. You have two dual melees in the top side that actually works out very well for Sejuani. So, what the hell is going on here with the draft?
They missed a pick.
Poppy.
Third is Poppy. So another one of my unpopular opinions in draft. If you miss a pick, you forfeit the game. I've been in a league where that happened. No one ever missed picks. It's funny. When there's actual risk to missing picks, you guys don't miss picks. Please stop missing picks. It's not that hard. Boo. Yeah. Well, it's stupid because now we have to now the visuals have to remake it, but whatever. So Poppy being locked in by FF15 here. Of course, we don't get to see it, and they're going to miss a ban too. Not yet, but someone's going to probably miss a ban just seeing as how this goes so far.
Well, it seems like NRO are on top of things. I think what it seems like is FF15 is maybe scrambling to figure out everything that they need to figure out. And as we do see, Caitlyn and Jinx are both being banned here. Hold on 1 second.
It could never be the Jinx, and they could type something else in chat. Be like, oops, that wasn't Jinx. We were banning something else. We banned Milio here instead. I know they weren't doing that, but in general, nothing too out of the ordinary. Everyone's got their mains. So Varus, Poppy, bottling there, Morgana for Bentage, very comfortable for FF15. Some Kaz bans coming out of here. Vayne, Caitlyn, and Jinx. So targeting a very specific bot laner from to FF15. But blame Bentage. No, I'm blaming your whole team. Gotta make us look good and make things look easy. Well, it's not even like make us look good. It's like it's really easy to pick your champions if you just set up a system and you demand picks before the last second. Regardless of my opinions, Trundle band is a very hard counter to Sejuani. Mordekaiser looks like Mines didn't really want to deal with that again, and Sejuani didn't want to deal with the jungle Mordekaiser again, but Lilia is a fast little shit.
That was one that they previously were ending up banning, and I think they banned that in actually game 1. So this time it getting through, I'm sure FF15 is pretty glad to be able to pick that up. The Murder Deer, I know Salt actually plays the Murder Deer pretty frequently, and this is going to be annoying, especially if you can't really hit her. But you do have some pretty decent lockdown choices in the Camille, in the Galio, and in the Sejuani. What?
They might just pick something else. Karthus is... Oh, it's Karthus bot. It is Kaz. So Kaz does play Karthus, and Karthus Zone is actually a really surprisingly strong lane. And since you have Vayne Poppy, you essentially as Karthus get to punish the Poppy for ever engaging, and Leona just doesn't have to press E and wait for Poppy to make a move. Karthus will outfarm the Varus. Ideally, of course. So what ends up happening is that Karthus should be guaranteed a kill thanks to Leona. And that late game poke from the ultimate with First Strike is just going to add up so much that it's going to become impossible for FF15 to fight. Of course, as we've been seeing in the past, NRO has been a little trigger happy in these fights, so they might not make it to that point with Karthus there, but FF15 opting to play in that game there with Ornn.
I think I'm just gonna be overall because the composition. Because remember, it's not Vayne there; it's Varus. That's the Vayne.
Varus, Poppy, bot lane.
Yeah, so Varus, Poppy, bot lane. I think yeah, because the swap. I know we could have if we remade draft and made things a little bit easier. But just if you guys can, promise me you'll redo it for the seer this week. So predictions have started. You guys, who are you guys believing is going to end up winning between NRO and FF15? And thank you, The Salt, for subscribing here at Valhalla Esports with a tier 1. We appreciate you so much, my man. And guaranteeing your 30 days of love here with Valhalla Esports. So I personally like FF15 once again with their comp. They managed to get a lot of the things that they've wanted. So with Morgana, Poppy, and Varus, I think that's going to be a pretty damn good combination. And then the Salt on the Deer with Ornn being able to help boost people after level 13 is going to be very, very good as well too. So this is looking like a pretty good FF15 angle, because I'm not sure how much I really trust the Karthus Leona bot. I haven't personally seen it enough to really say like, oh yeah, that it works.
If Kaz is doing his job and explaining it to his support, it actually works really well. Obviously the way to I actually am a big Karthus enjoyer in terms of playing with it. I like it more in jungle than AD carry, but I like playing with it. A lot of NRO's game here is actually going to hinge on the solo laners once again to do their job. Galio needs to not fall for bench's general Morgana shenanigans, as it seems like a lot of people do. As long as you don't chase the Morgana into her jungle where suspiciously you haven't seen the enemy jungler in a minute, you should be fine here on Galio. Really only need to make plays around the Camille once you're hitting level 6. Oops.
Oh.
And you need to give time for your Karthus to get online. So as long as NRO is able to let this game kind of cook and develop for a little while, this is such an NRO favorite game. So obviously, by the way, I'm talking. I favor NRO here.
Okay, I like to see two casters.
I'm gonna bet the house on them, by the way.
Okay, I like to see that. The two casters are now feeling different against one another, which is awesome, because that just ends up making it a little bit more dicey during the actual casting too, when you got two people who feel like that other teams are going to be able to use it. So let's go ahead. Very on brand to favorite NRO for halfling.
Just a little bit. I may or may not be a Kaz and Mines enjoyer here. Just saying. Just a little bit.
I'm just gonna say this right now, and this is something I've always found very funny. Once you focus down mines a lot, that's at least what something I've seen with teams. Like there was one, I forgot, was it last season where Mine's Desire was on Graves jungle, I think, and then all of a sudden he was like, at first it was like, oh crap, he's taking over the whole game, and then next thing we knew, boom, like everybody, like he was finding kills, but then the rest of the team was just converging on him. And then everybody else couldn't do anything because Mines was super fed. Like he was like 18 and something at some point in the game. So I think it's absolutely, like, personally, like, it's crazy to see that happened again, where we were seeing a lot of focus on catching Mines out in these side lanes. And once they took Mines out, it was so hard for the rest of NRO to be able to fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing that focus towards Mines Desire once again happen from FF15, especially if Mines is going to be constantly trying to split push. But I think he's on a much more danger factor when it comes to the Camille.
Yeah, the Camille Ornn matchup, at least we saw a little bit behind the scenes. We saw the two top laners there kind of joking around a bit. The Camille Ornn matchup is very interesting. Camille historically has been favored. What's up?
I just need to mute myself for a quick moment. Can you just
okay.
just
no problem.
Masses.
I can keep going. So the Camille Ornn matchup is pretty interesting. Camille's generally favored pretty heavily in it. What she can do is she can just kind of run people down. But what we've seen kind of recently in the last year, at least what I've seen recently last year, is that it favors Ornn a little more and more depending on how good the Ornn is. So it's going to be very dependent on how Smoothie is able to kind of keep up, not necessarily pressure, but not lose too much HP in the short trades that Camille specializes in. Able to get back at them before Camille's able to get down and not falling just for the random W baits that Mines is going to be throwing out.
I'm
Look in the
just
jungle matchup.
I
They're
think
just going to be farming. Lily will look for a little bit of invade. Sejuani's going to look for a couple plays in mid and top. Bot lane's a very 1-for-1. If they're going to be fighting, it's going to be 1-for-1. If it's not 1-for-1, something is going wrong. Either FF15 is playing it horribly and they're just not dodging the Karthus Qs, or Dainty Taco isn't pressing Q on somebody, and the same goes for Kaz. So
what I wanted to say is I'm personally a Smoothie fan myself. Representing old teammate. But I've seen the Ornn from Smoothie has actually been a very good saving grace. So I wouldn't discount the Ornn, especially when like it's one of those top laners that you can play where it's just like, I don't have to necessarily completely win the lane. I just need to, at the very least, just be there, get my items, be a tank, and then help everybody else when the time comes. And I think that's even easier now with the Braum not being on the side of NRO. They might actually have a much easier time with a far team engage. Truthfully, I would have loved to have seen Ornn Maokai here together. It would have been like Ornn top, Maokai support with Morgana, Varus, Lilia. I would have loved that in their composition. But they still kind of have the same vein of this composition, with the Poppy being that engage tank, Ornn being able to start the far range engage with the Ornn Horn, and then everybody else able to dish on that damage. And actually, they have a decent amount of CC. So I can see FF15's comp actually working out very, very well. But the Camille Galio Sejuani is just gonna be. I'm more focused on that for NRO because, again, I don't know the Karthus Leona, like how well that works just yet. But like that top side for the side of NRO is looking so damn strong, man.
yeah, hopefully with Karthus Leona, I'm focusing on that so much because that's the interesting matchup that we see here. It's relying a lot. It has two options of, you can either you could piss fight with it and coin flip often, or you can just let Dainty Taco roam around the map. I think roaming in this game is going to be a little weaker and a lot harder thanks to the Morgana and Lilia. Lilia is so hard for Leona to catch. Leona, you're playing a champion that's super old. Your cooldowns are season 14. Everything else in your kit is a whole lot of not season 14. You're slow as fuck compared to everyone else, and Morgana has a black shield, so you can't do anything. So I'd like to see him stay in lane and try and go for more of the kills and kind of keep that Karthus alive in lane. Whereas in the 3v3, I actually do favor NRO just because of how strong we saw Mines was on the Camille in game 1. So we're hoping, as an NRO fan here, we're hoping to see them kind of replicate that success in the Camille. And as an F15 fan, you're probably hoping for him to choke a little bit.
What I'm hoping from FF15 is just for them to kind of play, like, just play how they played the last game, and just to just be good with, like, just be mindful of what's going on the map. You guys were placing vision down, like when you pointed out, like, in that one dragon fight when they were starting, when they basically literally threw the whole fucking, they just sent it at the Vi, and they just sent the package and everything. But you said it, their red side was lit up like a Christmas tree around that dragon from FF15. They had so much information. It was really hard for NRO to be able to go ahead and fight around that. And that's something that I really liked from the side of FF15. They used information to their advantage. Having the constant knowledge of Mind's Desire being on the side lane, having constant knowledge around and vision around those objectives was a very good play on their side. So that's why I want to see them just do that again. Do exactly that again. Try to keep the vision up. Try to contest wherever you can. That doesn't end up just being, and just don't send it for everything you contest, which is what their comps, like the way they play their comps, it's great. They don't generally play comps that's like, we just gonna throw ourselves and everything at the enemy team. It's that we only really throw ourselves where it's a real winning fight and our comp actually works.
I'm just making jokes. It's fine.
I know. I'm watching the chat. It's fun.
It's big money. There's two people in there matching us, man. What do you mean big money's not on the side of FF15?
I really want to. I'm honestly excited for this matchup. I'm super excited for this matchup. I've been watching Pharaoh play Sejuani recently, and it's actually been pretty strong to watch. So this is gonna be a pretty fun game, I think, personally.
Yeah,
To see
Sed just had a lot of competitive success. Of course, competitive is in pro play success. Much more organized
Oh
environment.
shucks! I just realized they made a 4 melee team around this Sedge. That's actually gonna be
They
big
did.
for NRL. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they oh Marbra, big big money is in fact if you support the banks, you support FF15.
I love the fact that
There we go.
wait, Hailstrom,
It's fine.
did you have to play tonight because you already played previously? So yeah, you're not playing tonight. You're just an audience member today. Oh man,
Yep.
that must be great for him.
I think he was at a hotel. I think they were talking about it earlier.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that
He's
you
out.
get to show yourself. If you want to make a random guest appearance in the Discord at
I
any
thought
point,
so.
by
At
all means, go right ahead.
least I don't know.
I mean, if he can, that'd be pretty funny. But I'm actually really excited for this game. This is game 3. This is all or nothing, and both of these teams made some changes to their compositions where
Yeah, you're in a hotel.
it's just
Problem. Unlucky. No
oh,
guest appearance.
no, it's all good. I'm in a hotel, so problem no. Oh, it's
They called
unfortunate.
that invade without the Braum though. Which perfectly fine. You see Smoothie's a little traumatized.
Never again
Dude,
stepping up that far forward.
yeah, never again stepped up that far. At least he learned. He learned the correct way to safely stand instead of being aggressive with it. Of course, that word would be very risky if he would try and do anything. So nothing lost of value. Of course, make sure to open up that scoreboard so we can see it and turn off those time controls so we don't get a little bit of a leak.
Thank you.
So you perfect. You can turn on chat if you want. Oh, they weren't chatting last game. I was a little sad.
I know. I was like, wait a second. Y'all sat there and begged for chat to be open. No trash talk. No craziness. Like, come on, man.
Damn. Must mean the trash talkers don't like trash talking when they're winning.
Yeah.
Sad days.
And you know what? And honestly, I should have known better. KB. Oh wow, you gotta be happy, KB. You got the poppy this game, man. That's just gonna be like that. That's gotta be a real good like sign for him at least, because I've seen him play this champion, and it is an absolute like it's just a delight because he's usually when he's playing it, he's just laughing the whole time.
Yeah, but you saw that trade there. Poppy went and instantly Karthus just instant pop the Q on the feet of her own Leona as Helm Leona, and they won the trade at level 1. And that's kind of what that's at least what I expect to see with this Karthus lane. It's gonna be a little risky because Karthus is gonna have to spend a ton of mana here for this initial crash to try and get some of that farm. But other than that, they're chilling. Sejuani's bot lane here could be some shenanigans. 4 camped in the bot might try and get this Varus to stop backing.
Yep, and it ends up working. Gonna try to force the flash from the Varus, but not gonna be able to get it. And instead, Kid Buu is actually taking a lot of damage. First blood going right over to the Varus, and now Kaz taking turn damage. They could actually get a little bit more. Is a Q up? He's waiting. He's chasing him down. Can he flash it out? No, he doesn't have the flash anymore. KB now wanting to get a little bit more, trying to chase it down. Gonna be so big. Nicely done by the side of actually that was FFS. Yes, that was FF.
FF15. They've been red side this whole time. That's just such an overextension, man. By that Sejuani, I can understand the flash trying to get it instantly, but continuing under tower there, trying to fight any longer, so worthless because your Karthus doesn't really have a lot of upfront damage. Really, it takes so much longer. It's so much more poke. It takes time for him to get online, and that just kind of screws him. You can see he bought call. This Karthus is in here for the long haul. That could mean that more trades should be going top lane here, but this Ornn is just putting in work.
Yeah, this time Smoothie, I got a champion that he can just have some fun with. Oh, he got the Choo Choo skin too. I love it.
He's got the goated skin.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun that's just gonna be a lot of fun for him. I can't wait to hear all the train noises and stuff. But
it's too bad the stream can't hear them.
I know. That's
you've had leak sounds off the whole time on stream.
Oh really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it might be off in OBS. I think that might.
It is.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh, nicely done, Vintage, to land that onto them here. But now
doesn't have Black Shield now.
Members Nicely done. And the salt was there too, so at least he could be there for helping with support. But if one more auto landed on Ventus, that might have been potentially his life right there.
Went down the wrong pipe.
Yikes.
Yikes. Kid Buu just not fast enough on the E there to stop the flash. Good pop on that Black Shield by Excellence. Trying to find some sort of a heads-up play onto the Morgana while she was caught sleeping. But really good flash by Vintage there to keep him alive. He's got the TP there, TPing at the right time early enough to be able to make use of the TP without overlapping too much into the Empower TP that we are so used to seeing nowadays. Looks like Camille also reset as well at a good time. KB trying to fight Kid Buu's bot side.
Now coming back again. Covert Panda gets everything landed on top of him. Exhausted, stunned up, and now this is where everything starts to turn around. Kaz landing that first kill for him, and it's going to be the second as well. Going over to Kaz, and our rogue bot laner able to get that double kill, and that's going to be a nice little acceleration for this Karthus.
Yeah, the revenge gank from Kid Buu there coming back. We see the double melee that you were talking about in draft, or the quadruple melee actually for NRO, but the double melee in this fight, just putting in so much work. It didn't matter how far away Covert Panda got. He's going to get stunned again by the Sejuani and by the Leona so much. So really well played, and a good place, good time by Kid Buu there. Giving those kills to Kaz is going to be really important for Kid Buu trying to find something.
They stayed for way too long, and now they're going to be able to chase down Kaz, getting shut down immediately. The Salt is also here too to be able to help Dainty Taco trying to get away, but you're in between two members. You want to give that to give it to Covert.
The slow landed.
Oh, nope, the Salt's just going to take it instead. Give a little bit of gold over to the Lilia. Definitely worth it.
Call it the Death Deer?
Yeah. That's the murder deer for a reason. And
the murder deer
FF15 though still up in 1k in gold already 6 minutes into this game. Nicely done. Mind's Desire not getting as much of a lead this time on the Smoothie as he has previously in this game. Like before, he would be about, at this point he was usually up about 20-30 farm. Actually, there was points in times where he was up 50 farm 7 minutes in on Smoothie now actually being able to do a little bit more, only sitting about 5 farm behind. Nicely done.
Yeah, the Camille matchup was very hinged a lot on the existence of Divine Sunderer. With that out of the game, that one item spike is kind of not as impactful for the Camille, but we're still waiting for that one item spike to really see the counter. Of course, Camille picking up the call to try and get that faster. But it could be a little bit of waste. But KB Jelly's bot lane here again.
Ooh, I love seeing KB here. And he's going right in as the Salt is also here trying to help him out. They're able to take out Kaz once again, but he ends up getting taken out covert by Dainty Taco. And that's not going to be any more as KB's able to walk away. Unfortunately, covert drops, but the kill goes over to the support, which is at least the absolute best of that worst situation of covert dying there.
Yeah, that's the 1-for-1s I was talking about with that Karthus Leona bot lane there. Leona lanes 1 stun guarantees at least 2 Karthus Qs, and it just kind of makes it so much easier to trade there. I'm seeing a lot of like Kaz saying like, let's just fight this, and Taco's a little scared there. Doesn't really want to lose his life, but he's underestimating just how tanky he is on this Leona. But he bought Merc Treads. Man, if you're CC'd, you're dead. Whatever. I don't like Mercs on Leona ever, really. Just go any tenacity stuff. But Excellence, they're finding some trades into advantage in the mid lane. Both of them pretty And now Mind's Desire looking for something in top lane.
Uses the ult on top of Smoothie. Didn't realize that Kid Buu was going to be here. Able to get under their tower. Trying to chase him down. Smoothie, though, calling in the choo-choo train. And it's going to take him out. As Smoothie's able to go ahead and kill Mind's Desire now. Going to be getting ganked. And instead turns it around. Makes a double kill for him. We do have a fight going on in the mid lane. As Benches is able to barely walk away with his life thanks to the spell shield. The fist bump is trying to be used by the enemy team instead. But absolute insanity has been dropped, as we have just seen all over the map. And FF15 2.5k gold up, and they're trying to make this a clean end.
You've heard me talk about the double dips in the past, making 2 plays in the same, making 2 plays across the map, right? 1 play top lane, 1 play bot lane, and it never works. Of course, KB here is going in for fourths,
man,
as the legendary triple dip.
Gonna go ahead.
It might turn bad though.
It turns into a double kill from both sides. As Excellence, I mean, that's actually kind of nice. You managed to take away the TP from Excellence, so you at least got that spell down. But for NRO, that was actually very interesting because they were able to still get Karthus, but you were saying it ends up being a 1-for-1 at the very least, and it be a 2-for-1 at most, and that's actually working out for NRO. But we do still see that FF15 is still ahead in this game. Which one was it again? It was I for the gold differences, correct?
X.
X. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and, as we do see here, though, that difference in the bot lane already, 1,400 gold difference between the two bot laners, and we even see that Mines is actually a little bit behind Smoothie in this top side. Overall, the leads are spread out, but a majority of it belongs to that bot lane on the Varus.
Yeah, that Varus has got so much gold there. Collecting all those kills, I'm pretty sure he picked up a bounty at some point. I can't quite remember. Just looking at that farm, looking at those kills, that's a lot of gold for that Varus there. But a quadruple dip for the side of FF15 there, just constantly making plays there, and it's working out really well because the right people at the right place. Ornn just casually 1v2ing, a Camille Sejuani happening. Morgana
Nicely
looking for a play
done.
mid lane here, gonna find something.
Not gonna probably be able to get the kill there, but was definitely able to mitigate a lot of the fight, like basically pushing away the Galio. So that was nicely done. Dainty Taco now gonna get stopped.
Jungler's back.
Ah, yes, the Salt is back once again, and they're looking for him. And instead of going right onto Karthus, they might actually be able to get both members here now. Drowsy put to sleep. KB Jelly able to take out Dainty Taco. They're not gonna be able to get Karthus, but we see the choo-choo train coming in, gonna be missed as Smoothie this time gets ganged on by the top side, and the shut down right onto the Ornn goes over to Mind's Desire.
Yeah, that's what we were expecting them to do that last time they tried to make this play, but they were missing a couple of key abilities. They were a little too close to that Ornn tower. Now they finally caught him in the middle of that lane, caught him in that Camille ult, and just perfectly stacked their CC to make sure they didn't have to deal with that choo-choo train. But in the meantime, that bot play, they're finally kind of understanding they just really need to force that flash back because they can get him later. It's okay for that. That's just a duck constantly. She's not that tanky, really. I'm so ahead of that Varus just cuts the unit down so fast now. And they're just finding so much play and so much aggression from FF15 there. They're just focusing on the struggling bot lane. It's perfectly okay, too. They're just returning a little bit of the favor that Kipu had last game to their from that top, and they're spreading the love on the other side of the map.
Oh, choppy voice. How do we sound now? Is everything sounding a little bit better? Who's sounding choppy? Is it both of us? Is it just one of us? Might need to check stream. I'm hearing choppy voice here.
Is it me? Am I the choppy?
You were speaking at the time. Blitz said it's robotic.
No, I just checked it in stream. I sound fine. Oh well.
Is it me? Hold.
Play's starting now.
Yeah,
It could just be a little bit of an internet issue.
KB tried using the Poppy ulti. Gonna end up missing. We have a TP coming in from who I believe is the Ornn. Yes, it's the Ornn there. Alrighty, blue team managed to actually still get that Chemtech Drake in the midst of that entire fight, so NRO was able to make something happen, even though they managed to expel the TP from the side of from the Ornn. So well done by NRO to go ahead and be able to take that. Does stream also look okay, Halfling, actually?
Yep.
Okay, so.
Stream looks fine.
Oh, no one else is saying anything anymore, so.
No.
We should be pretty good. All right, so I might have just had a slight hiccup on my internet or maybe my Discord or something. But we should,
happens.
Yeah, it happens. We should be good now. And we're just seeing now Covert, this bot lane, just continuing to establish their dominance over the enemy bot side. But they might be staying too long now as Kid Boot is now here. But Galio also showing up, misses the ulti. Gonna be able to keep pushing forward against Covert, trying to go ahead and get him. But they still do have their tower cleanse.
Oh,
nicely
cleanse.
done. KB trying to get away, not gonna be able to, and instead gonna end up losing his life. But nice arrow from Covert Panda, able to go ahead and trade it back 1-for-1. Holy, nicely done, not letting their support die in vain.
Yeah, they're cutting down that Sejuani, just getting a little too close, taking a little too much, but still a 1-for-1. They're going. I think Karthus collected that, right? Believe so. Either way, NRO picking up the 1-for-1 there. They're still fine. F15 though, finding that return play in their own kind of in that own 2v3 there, 2v4 actually, with that Galio ult there, and you can see why that Camille ult's so important with the insta cleanse from Covert Band, a little bit of a Captain Jack plus, not really plus actually, just a standard Captain Jack, but of course no CC time. We're able to get it there instantly, expecting it, but that is going to be FF15 picking up the Herald in the meantime because it's Sejuani bot side, and
Oh, but
it's been a kind of theme this whole series of, oh, never mind the choo-choo train.
manages to land onto Camille, but not going to really amount to much else. The rest of the team all immediately went somewhere else. And we do see this. Okay, I like this. Bringing it mid instead of going anywhere else due to the fact that the mid tower is so close to being, ready to be taken. Boom. Not going to be able to get it there, but Sejuani is here along with the Camille jumping onto Bentis, trying to get away, tries to flash, but not going to mean anything as he ends up getting taken down by Mind's Desire. Another kill. KB Jelly able to pin someone up against the wall. The fight is now continuing to extend as the Mind's Desire jumps on the Covert Panda in the background, but not going to be able to get him before he ends up taking out the Galio. Leona ends up taking that kill on the Covert Panda. Now it's just KB Jelly against the rest of the members of NRO as the Salt is just going ahead and trying to get away with his life as he does. Smoothie still up in that top side trying to push it off, but the tower dropped in mid, but at the cost of three members' lives on the side of FF15. Almost said 4, but I realized that was just the Salt basing.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an overstay by FF15 there, but that team fight prowess from the side of NRO, they're coming back with that Mork binding, not going to find a holdout, just a lot of poke on a Karthus. Karthus, so collecting some gold is a lot of damage. This Morgana is starting to get pretty scary there. You got to start dodging your stuff if you really want to stay alive long in these team fights, especially as Karthus. But that Karthus is getting stronger and stronger as this game goes on, and he's just going to get scarier and scarier with those ults. He did opt for Dark Harvest instead of the Moneymaker strategy that we usually see from Karthus with the First Strike. So not going to quite have as much poke damage, but a ton of burst damage, especially after he dies through that ult. So still really strong, still a really strong poke tool. No objectives coming up quite yet. Of course, can't see the timers. Yeah, we're going to blame Malco's league client on that and not Malco himself.
I know. I actually tried to press on objective timers, and it's just like, yeah, no, we're not going to make that work.
I think it's under the map.
Yeah, it did something.
It's hidden under the map somewhere. It's fine. Not too big of an issue quite yet. Looks like Dragon's be coming up here in just under a minute. So both teams trying to vie for some vision. Looks like it's in the favor of FF15 right now, at least. Finding a little bit of priority over this river, though. Camille walking through, trying to find something. There's this little bit of piss fight here. Could be turning into KB Jelly getting caught.
And I mean, he's holding on to the W, waiting, and he does as they try to enter, but KB Jelly now caught in the middle of 4 members. The Varus ult lands, but it's not going to be able to get into anybody. Choo-choo train called in. Horn lands on the 4 members. NRO, big fight while Mind's Desire catches Covert Panda in the background and takes on a double kill as he slays down the bot lane. Karthus ultimate about to go off, causes the explosion, doesn't kill anybody, but there's just 3 members left as the Salt is so low, can't help to continue the fight. When the bot lane dies now, there's not much else that can be done. A majority of this gold is all on that Varus.
Yeah, that Varus is so important in these team fights, and they're using that Ornalt to disengage from such far range. There's no really like threat if you're getting hit by it to at least get like kind of followed up on CC. Morgana's burning her bind and her ults really before it's landing. No kind of combos with the brittle passive that I'm seeing at least. And what's happening is they're getting onto this Varus and they're just doing that really simple Camille Galio ult. Sejuani missed her Bola. She missed her ult there. So imagine if there was a Sejuani ult there landing onto any of the key targets from FF15. That could have been a disaster of a team fight, even more so than it already was. So
you know, I'm glad we kept the chat on for this exact reason. The guys are sitting there pinging when this stuff is about to spawn. I appreciate y'all. Y'all making it easier when I know we can't see the objective timers. I got to show my love for the players in this game. Thank you very much. That's why TJ was telling us to keep the chat on, guys. He wanted to help the production. You know what, TJ? Shout out to you. You're the MVP today.
TJ gets MVP again? Pretty sure, as he got it on Wednesday. 2 MVPs in 1 week is a new record. Especially when it's not in his own series, but still MVP. 4 minutes to Dragon now at this point, but just under a minute for Baron. Both teams not really able to take it too early, unless something drastic happens. You know, the standard mines randomly on the side lane with no other pushing lanes. Dragging 4 members could be the play from NRO, and unironically not be that bad. I don't think they're going to quite look for it. It looks like they were able to adjust properly and get some at least even lanes now and provide some pressure for him to be able to split push, though.
All right, so I'm gonna have a little learning with Halfling real quick. Unless these guys decide that they just want to engage onto everything, which it's looking like we're
Oh, no,
going
they just want
to.
to fight.
Yep, they decided to fight instead of learning something today. As we see the engagement go
Get the
right on.
Varus.
Mind's
There we
Desire
go.
jumps in from out of nowhere. Kaz going on a rampage as he's able to take out Covert Panda. Varus now down. They have to try to fight, but they just all on FF15 have to completely disperse. There's not anything they can do. Their main damage dealer is now out of the fight. So they're continuing to chase KB, gonna have to get away, able to use the ult to get Mind's Desire away from him. But at what cost? As Sejuani is not actually chasing after the Poppy. They don't feel like it's important enough. So nicely done. Once they get rid of the Varus, they've kind of realized that no one else can really fight them. So good job from the side of NRO.
Yeah, NRO, they pulled the trigger again, and this time everyone's on the screen now, and they have that Camille Galio in case someone's a little too far. So it's perfectly fine. Great team fight execution. They found the Varus. They found also Lilia with the ult, or Poppy with the ultimate from Sejuani there, but Sejuani might be caught out. No breathing room just yet.
Are these guys gonna just activate another fight? Yup,
Yeah,
that's gonna probably be the Karthus getting taken out right there. Shut down going onto the Salt, but that might be Covert Panda once again getting taken out. Dainty Taco able to take the ADC's life, and it's gonna be a continued fight as KB Jelly gets taken out by Boo. They're continuing to chase the Salt, able to take that kill, but at what cost? Because it's still now NRO fighting back and trying to take this series into their hands.
Yeah, the support collected what was supposed to be that Karthus kill there. It looks like some pings onto Leona from the side of F15. They want to collect that bounty pretty quickly. Still, though, that's kind of the danger of engaging on a Karthus with these two items is even if you kill him, now he chunks you so hard. So if you lose HP beforehand, you're probably dead afterwards, especially if there's that follow-up there. So now you can see this kind of combo or why this Karthus is so important, because if they're just Kaz is like, okay, if you guys are just going to engage him every time, I'm just going to pick Karthus and let you kill me. I don't really care. And here's the reason why this Camille matchup's so strong for her.
And now you see Minds just going ahead and chasing down Solo Dolo. Found him in the bot lane and is sending him to the gray screen back to base. Smoothie on the Ornn. Unfortunately not able to take the 1v1 against the Camille. And it's just going to be another solo for Minds here. 5-1 on the Camille.
Yeah, it's a little tragic that Ornn here had to pick up Abyssal Mask to be able to assist some of his carries and try and shred some of the MR that is on everyone, it seems, from NRO. 4 Merc treads picked up by everyone but their Karthus here. So you talked about so you said you had a question here, so I'm actually curious because we have a couple seconds here before Dragon.
I want to say, like, learning with Halfling. So with Karthus and Malignants, when he ults, does it just make a bunch of little pools of under everybody, or is it just like one pool to one particular target?
It's a pool under everybody because the damage happens at the same instance. It's essentially like 5 bolts happening at the same time. But looks like they're gonna find this pick on a Morgana.
Well, nicely done, KB, to knock out 2 members away from them, completely disengaging the fight. Nicely done. Smoothie though, re-engaging it, finding Kaz, trying to chase him down. The Karthus being put under around the wall. Smoothie, nicely done to take down the carry without having to lose anyone's life. But Lilia gonna be taken out by Mind's Desire as he finds the support, going for a double kill as Camille takes out the Poppy. Now they're chasing down the rest of the members of FF15. Covert Panda now caught in the middle, gonna be able to chase down, but Mind's Desire wanting that triple kill, going for the Quadra, looking for the rest of the members, chasing them down. Not gonna be the Penta. Big shutdown for Smoothie, still taking down 2 more members, but they're not gonna be able to do anything with the tower in place, and instead it's going to be a Quadra kill for Mind's Desire. FF15's top laner being the only one left alive, but that was a massive fight going over to the side of NRO.
Yeah, I keep harping on this Karthus here, but it's such a key pick here as they're spending so much on this Karthus. We even saw KB doing a little bit of a Poppy insect. They're dragging that Karthus into his team, but he dragged the Karthus to exactly where he wants to be. Karthus goes in the middle of the team, dies. Damn, that sucks. I become a lawnmower and I get to press my ult for free now. And that's exactly what we saw him do. He presses ults and just chunks everyone, disappears. He does his job, does damage, and it's just Minds cleaning up everyone there with a Quadra kill on that tower dive. And a super good pick from the Leona ult there, finding the Varus there, and Varus just holding on to his cleanse just a little too long. And it just costed his team that fight.
And I'm loving this. Sejuani just picks up the Granite Rookin, so it's just gonna be even more. Like they have to shred through even more now for this Sejuani, and that's the crazy thing. Like once she gets Warmogs, I think it's gonna be extremely difficult for them to even be able to get through her. So
Yeah, they're just ignoring the Sejuani at this point. So it's all this damage onto this Karthus, and by the time they kill Karthus, they're burning 2 alts, they're burning a bunch of mobility, and they're kind of in these fights now, and they have some tools left for mines, but not enough to burst a Camille with her I can't remember, it's the adaptive shield, I can't remember the name of it, but they're fishing out Kid Buu here, clearing out some Baron vision right now. Both teams understanding it's time to do Baron, and now finally we see at least this mid lane wave state is perfect for mines to split push. Now they have a pushing mid lane, and now the enemy team has to respond to this ball here on the Baron. So this is what proper split push pressure really looks like, or at least like semi proper, because no one's dogging on mines in the split push, and he knows he wins against Ornn, so Ornn has to respect it. So all we're really looking for is just kind of this like little tiptoe to see who makes the first mistake.
and at this
It
point,
might be
though, they're
Morgana
looking
here
for
as
the
Bench is
first
caught.
engage. Bench is getting caught out. No, Zonya's getting obliterated. Dainty Taco on a killing spree. The support
Oh, the
taking
flash from
another
Varus.
kill. Nicely done from Varus. The flash to go ahead and avoid anything else. That's going to be the only kill, it looks like, losing the mid laner for the side of FF15.
Yeah, but I think that's the pick they really need for Baron. Camille's here. She TP'd. You
Oh,
can start the Baron.
nicely
Oh,
done.
the huge
Able to
catch.
land right onto KB Jelly, so he's not able to help out the Salt anymore. The Salt still caught in between 3 different members.
The
Nice,
Drowsy?
Drowsy. Able to stop any other members, but that's going to be now the red turret destroyed in the mid lane, finally taking out that first tier turret for against NRO. And that's going to now be a little bit more map control for them as well.
Yeah, they get so much space there. That's even more space for mines to push. Now he can really properly go for this tier 2 here in that bot lane while this Baron's up. He doesn't have TP, so it's a little scary. I kind of want to see Excellence push into the sideline, and they put mines with it, but they know mines wins. You can see even Benta just walking down to this bot lane, at least like feigning to it. He knows that it's kind of scary, but these ornaments are starting to come through. Ornn items. I like the LS term. The ornaments is a really funny term to say, and I like to say it whenever I can. But 2 kind of Ornn items here picked up from FF15. Those stats are free, and those are stats that NRO can't really get. But still, Karthus only has 3 items. Camille only has 3 items. This Sejuani has 2 items. She isn't even like no one's really in their final form yet. So these Ornn items aren't going to really matter until later. 3K gold lead's not really anything real at this point. It's like, what? Excuse me. It's like a couple long swords, maybe a pickaxe.
So if they're about 3K gold up. So this is the thing though. So effectively on the gold graph, yes, they're 3K gold up for the side of NRO, but which if they get this Baron, they're about to be another extra 2,500 up. But there's no members up there that realize.
Why did he TP?
He just TP'd up. I mean, it would have been better if he didn't do that. But now
Oh, they're
Camille
looking
able
for
to
the
catch
fight.
someone out, taking out the Varus. Nicely done, baiting members with that fight. Karthus though might end up losing his life to the. Oh no, he doesn't, and instead, Mind's Desire takes him out. Kaz is up taking out Bentage, and we do have Galio now going in as the Soul gets absolutely eviscerated by the Karthus ultimate. KB now being chased down more, and the Baron being given over to the side of NRO. Nicely done. Unfortunately, the ult had to be used there by it was used by the Sejuani, but either way, gonna be a big, good, clean fight. Being 4 members down from the side of FF15, and the Baron now going over to the side of NRO and accelerating that gold lead from 2 to 5K. I was just about to say before that fight started that effectively with the ornaments, each ornament item is actually worth about 1,300 to 1,500 gold on average once you get upgraded. So it's like you technically did kind of give them that little extra bit, but I feel like ornaments only really mean something in that sense, like that effective gold that you get from being from the ornaments. It only really means something when you're actually a little bit more ahead. And because of that, it's like more like they're just catching up to NRO by getting these ornament items. They aren't really actually ahead of them anymore. So they're ultimately, by losing these fights, it's just showing that they're just not ahead enough. Like they're not actually like getting enough they're not getting enough value from the ornament items even to be able to eke out wins in these fights.
NRL's just going to fight again. They're missing quite a few key tools here. They've been relying on the Sedgel. They've been relying
and
on
they
the Carthage. They've
find
been relying on the Galley, but
Culver.
they've just...
And
My bad.
Mine's
I guess Kova's
Desire
gonna get
just
caught.
doesn't care. And KB gonna end up losing his life here as he ends up getting stunned up. Oh, wow. He ends up walking away. And they decide to change up their targets. Murder Deer now being the next. The Soul going into stasis, waiting for it. After going golden now, losing his life to the Carthage there, going on a killing spree. Mine's Desire able to go ahead and get himself a solo dolo onto HYG Smoothie as he ends up losing his life off in the blue side jungle. NRO just pushing more and more into this lead, and they want to try to end this game as quickly as they can, landing onto Bench's nice snare so he doesn't lose his life and give another kill over to Mine's Desire.
A huge chunk, yeah. I guess, resources be damned, ults be damned. It doesn't matter when the Camille comes flying at your 80 carry's face. There's nothing to cleanse, so because you can't cleanse damage. But it's, I don't. That's kind of crazy that NRO won that fight, if I'm being honest. I guess FF15 didn't have the same tools. That's Soul. That's a fairly important Ocean Soul because NRO isn't really getting bursted besides Karthus.
And this top lane is just being blasted into right now.
Oh, yeah. That Camille has so much tower, so much siege there. And this map, even though it's like there's pretty good vision from FF15, none of it matters. They've got like a pink and Baron. They got a pink there in that rotation bush there in the top side. They got one in their blue buff. None of it matters because they can't farm it. It's not theirs anymore. All the outer towers are gone. NRO super effectively uses Baron, able to turn a fight, use some of those Baron stats also to help them win that fight in Dragon and claiming that soul.
I don't think they have any inner towers either.
No, they've got all the tier 3s.
Yeah, they have all. But I'm saying like they have no outers, no inners. They have all their inhibitor turrets though. So it's like yeah, they're jeez.
You use outer like that.
Yeah.
Use outer outside of base. That's fine though. They're missing the tier 1s and tier 2s. Bowling ball is gonna go wide. NRO is just slowly kind of keeping their lanes pushed. They got to keep this mid lane push, keep this top lane in a good spot for Mines to be able to kind of start pushing this wave. This is the time for NRO to find a fight, though. It's 4v5. Is Kid Boo's still going to go in there? Not really counting.
Called in, able to find one member, but is it going to be enough? Putting people to sleep? Galio using the ulti Kaz, though, getting so much damage, ends up getting taken out by the Soul, but the ult is going to be calling him home as he ends up going ahead and getting the revenge onto the Soul, but the rest of the members of his team is in the back line going ahead and taking out the rest of those members. Smoothie taking on so much damage, but it's not going to be enough. Mine's Desire with the triple kill, just absolutely eviscerating them on this Camille.
Yeah, he had just enough time to be able to TP into that fight, but that they pulled the trigger, but you could see it was really split off as it looked like a lot of their CC went onto their 2 tanks. F15 CC went on the 2 tanks of NRO, and all the damage went onto the Kaz Karthus. And Karthus just presses ult and kills you. But NRO is going to take the series 2-1.
Oh, man. If anybody, for the people who voted NRO this game, nicely done. Because I was not expecting that. I thought that
the momentum not in their favor. That's a big fight though.
FF15, I thought that they had cracked the code for themselves to play, and that was gonna make a big difference. But this time, no, they just couldn't get they couldn't see the same type of success in the bot lane as they did in the last game. Mine's Camille was disgusting. You just can't you can't fight that. It was just very difficult to fight, and NRO was basically able to replicate what they did in the first game and just bring it to this one and eke out the win. Not even eke it out. They were able to dominate to get that win. Let me be honest here.
Yeah, if you can move your mouse so we can see the rest of these kills. I think another big kind of, not necessarily shock, but a big part of that damage there is Kaz and that Karthus, who for the, as one of the caster MVPs, I'm not going to vote out chat. I haven't really voted on MVPs in a while as a caster, because I feel like that's for the chat people, but my MVP is going to go to Kaz. All the series have been playing super well. It was a little unfortunate in that game 2 situation. You're playing that third time's a charm Caitlyn, and it just kind of happens. By then press alt and you have a team fight, and it's not gonna go well. But in the right spot at the right time, was able to kind of chunk everyone for mines to be able to clean up, and played lane super well, was getting constantly dove, stayed in the game though, and did his job super well. But overall, like a great series by NRO. A little bit kind of risky there. A couple coin flips didn't really go their way, but overall still NRO taking it all the way.
And I just want to ask if any moderators is around in the thing, they can, or that can pull anybody up into the production chat for an interview when the MVP is ready to go. We're still waiting on votes to come through. Again, I might just give it to Mines overall, but I definitely want to give a little bit of props to Dainty Taco as well. Played very well in both those victories for them on both the Braum and Leona in games 1 and 3. I know game 2 was a little bit rough for them, but he was still a good, like, decent factor that I don't think we really gave a lot of props to.
Yeah. I mean, not a whole lot to say. Everything was left on the table there. It was all in the team fight execution at the end of the day. And the team fight, one of the 2 team fight comps won, and that was just NRO, though. I like the drafts from both teams, though. Both teams kind of being able to go back to what works really well for them. Smooth even staying in that lane phase super well and being able to actually weather the storm and get that double kill there in the top lane during one of the ganks. But just not really enough. It looked like Bentage kind of struggling to really find his footing on the Morgana there at the end of the day, not quite being able to be as useful as we normally see him. I think that was more on the part of NRO properly playing around it, burning the black shields anytime they see it. They have so much magic damage that just kind of hard to be Morgana in this game.
And then I just want to not forget to talk about Kid Buu a little bit, because especially on that, like, Shyvana game was definitely something that I wasn't expecting. And it was definitely, it was really strong. And we do have a tie. Actually, it's a tie between Mines and Kid Buu for the MVP of this series. So if either one of you two would like to join us or both would like to join us in the production chat for a quick interview here for the end of the games, that would be awesome. I think you both should have production permissions, so I think you both can just jump in if you feel like it, or one of you, whoever chooses. So yeah, if you guys are around, by all means, give us a few moments. But that is another win secured by NRO. Congratulations to that team. Let's see if anybody is available. I'm not getting any messages or anything, so we'll see.
They don't want to join. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are don't feel pressured. Don't feel pressured.
Yeah, if you're not watching the stream at all. If they don't come back in a minute, we can or they don't come in like a minute or so, we can probably head out here.
Yeah, we just.
Anything else to go over personally? Oh, there's one. There's 2.
Oh, we got both.
Oh, I got a message, so I thought you wanted me to be here.
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we wanted. It was like one or both. You both ended up winning the tie. You guys tied for the MVPs here, so.
Listen.
Big.
Yeah, huge.
What is it? Better top jungle wins.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much, yeah.
For sure, yeah. We just gotta get Kid Buu to like not try and make a play every time we surround someone.
I try to stop playing
small victories. I think if our team could get away with small victories, it would be a much better team. But that's for sure something we don't do.
Yeah,
I like the honesty.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like the honesty, but I do kind of. You mentioned like taking the short victories. Is there like any specific kind of shot caller? Or is it kind of just like fuck it, we ball?
No, Kaz and I, Kaz calls for bot lane stuff, and then I'll usually direct like around top side, and then together we'll kind of like just call for objectives like give take or like the plays here or whatever. And then post laning phase, it's usually I'm usually telling opposite side for side lane assignments, and then basically
it's too long.
Yeah, from there it's basically just Kaz calling the rest of the team while I just say I'm killing Ornn side lane.
I'm killing Ornn side lane. Good way to put it. I don't have a whole lot else. Was there like any explanation? I want to like ask you guys were in draft about like the Karthus Leona, because Malco seemed a little kind of confused. I didn't see before. Was there like any explanation, or were you guys like really quick on it?
Kaz asked, and I quote, "Do you want to play Karthus Leona?" Dainty Taco said yes, and I trust my teammate.
Yep. Did they there wasn't like an okay, so they're knowers. That's good to know. There's some knowers here.
Yeah, I mean, Karthus bottom has historically been like a real pick, and just giving Karthus somebody who holds people still for a very long time is a lot of damage.
Okay, so I really like that. Awesome. So I learned something new today. That's what I needed. So I'll be on the lookout for that more now as we start to see more of the mages start to transverse into bot lane.
No, I think this is just like a specifically Karthus thing, Malco. Like Karthus has like just since he's moved from mid lane into jungle and bot lane basically is like over the history of Karthus in this game. Karthus has been a bot laner for like I don't know 5-6 seasons.
Since season 8, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just don't play with.
So it's like a very Karthus specific thing. I think Karthus and Swain are probably the two mid laners who have spent the most time in bot lane now. But yeah, I mean, team played well, bounced back after a rough game too. We couldn't get anything going in that game. Pulled our mentals together, drafted a much better team comp, and we played to it. Fell behind early, kept our mentals in it. Shout out to Excellence, Taco, Kaz, Kidbu for not getting too negative. Comms kept going. I'm sure you guys have been on teams where the game falls behind and everyone goes quiet, and then it's impossible to win. So yeah.
Kind of moving on from the interview, let's look towards the future. Of course, you guys are guaranteed now in the playoffs. Of course, you have been for a while. You clinched a division. Congrats. I don't know if you've been on streamer interviews for that, but congrats on 110,000% clinching the division. Of course, with the win today. Looking towards the playoff, are you guys like super confident going into playoffs? Are there any concerns? Nothing that means. Is there anything you want to say?
I think our team is constructed well in terms of draft. Like Kibu did a good job putting this team together. We kind of rotated some players around, and then we've kind of had 2 weeks now with Kaz, and we're gonna head into our third week. So really, just trying to build synergy, build picks. Flesh out our drafts. If teams want to keep giving me Camille, I'll play it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same thing over here. If you guys give me Shyvana, I'll continue.
Yeah, dude, in game 1, when I told Kibu, do you want to play Shyvana? You could hear him get hard, man.
Oh my fuck!
Like you could just hear it ripping through the fabric of his pants.
Yeah, I think I went. My ego skyrocketed.
He was so happy. He was like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is the Shyvana game."
Yeah. Just to remind people that I am the Shyvana King here, right? Yeah. Bulgaria, if you're watching, all right? Just remember that.
my man's name on Discord is Omni Shyvana. Relax.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, just shout out to my team. They enabled me to make the plays, and I was able to just keep killing Varus.
Yep. I mean, they went above and beyond. They did their job. That's what our main motto is. Just do your job. That's the main purpose.
And ultimately worked out.
Good to hear. So once again, congratulations on the series win.
Thank you. Hopefully
we'll see you guys make it through playoffs, because obviously super fun to watch with those team fights, and that team fight execution's very fun to watch, very fun to cast. But you guys have a great night.
Later.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for casting, by the way, for Halfling and Melgo.
Yeah. Thank you, Malco.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Poggies.
Poggers, that was awesome. Once again, and I want to also thank the audience for you guys just being very patient with us in the very beginning with some of the technical difficulties that we experienced during the beginning of the game, but we were able to get those to be very smoothed out, and now everything kind of ran the way that we wanted it to. So, and then now we're going to just say congratulations once again to NRO being able to take this series against FF15, even though there was, again, with that game too, it had us looking a little dicey on whether or not who was really going to be able to win the series. But they were able to take it, and now they're definitely, like you said, they've secured themselves a spot definitely in the playoffs, and they're looking like a damn good contender to go up against, one, HYG, which is looking like another top team in the league, and basically they want to try to claim the championship once again with NRO. So other than that, I don't think I have much else that needs to be said. Halfling, is there any other final words that you would like to say?
I've got nothing right now.
Alrighty, so with that much said, guys, I'm glad that Halfling was able to join us tonight. join me tonight for being able to get this casting done. It was an awesome time with everybody and all you guys in the audience. Thank you for chatting with us as you guys always do. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for the Prime subs today. Don't forget, if you do have the ability to do so, drop your Prime subs here and be able to guarantee yourself 30 days of love with Valhalla Esports. Join the crew, join the production, join any of the players, and try to get into the league. Maybe you'll be on the team next season, as we are coming closer and closer to the close of this season, with next week being week 9, and then after that we'll be getting right into playoffs. So with that much said, guys, I am Melko. It has been Halfling. I hope you have had a good night on this second games or this other live casted games for season 8 of Valhalla Esports, and we are out.